Hello everyone, we're back with some more Star Trek with some of, at least my favorite episodes, I assume a lot of people's favorite episodes, at least two of them. Déjà, Q, and yesterday's Enterprise are probably everyone's favorites, and I really love Matter of Perspective as well, but I know how other people feel about it. What do you guys think of Matter of Perspective? If you remember it.
I love it, I think it's clever.
Yeah, it is clever. I think it's an interesting twist on the courtroom drama. I am a little bit bothered by how Riker comes across as so rapey, but honestly, I'm not entirely certain that that's an incorrect perception.
At the very least, he calls it out.
The thing with Riker, I think we're supposed to come to the belief that he didn't actually do anything. But even in his own telling of his version of events, it kind of seems like he was coming on to someone's wife. Like, Riker, maybe you need to chill out a bit. Take a cold sonic shower. Sorry, a high-frequency sonic shower.
Or a low-frequency sonic.
Well, it seemed like she was more into him, though. But
well, we'll be seeing.
I mean, you can be the judge. Yeah, I
don't remember it perfectly, so we'll get the.
And he didn't stay there long. He just tried to get out of there as soon as possible.
He's ready to leave now.
Yeah.
It's a 3 stories episode, though. I think it's a very good one.
Yeah, I like it. And Déjà Q, which is going to be the first episode today, is just... It's a Star Trek comedy, is what it is. And it's fantastic.
I feel like this is one of the very meme-heavy episodes. I believe this is the Picard facepalm episode?
Oh, I was just about to bring that up. It is the facepalm episode. We'll be calling that out. Look, if anyone's talking during the facepalm, you're going to get interrupted because we're going to start yelling, "That's the facepalm." So just be ready for that.
Looking forward to it.
It happens pretty soon, I believe, so let's all be ready. I think it happens before the opening credits.
There's also the double facepalm in The Offspring.
Oh yeah,
it's definitely after the credits.
We never figure out why Q is turned into a human, right?
Oh my god, we get 3 facepalms today. Picard and Riker both facepalm in Matter of Perspective at the same time.
Oh yeah, they do. Oh yeah.
And then what? Yesterday's Enterprise. What a day!
Yeah, this is awesome. I've been looking forward to today for weeks.
Déjà Q is definitely one of those episodes when I just want to relax, when I want, a comfort show. Déjà Q.
Yeah, we still never...
Yesterday's Enterprise is not so good of a comfort show. Very good show, but not when you just want to chill out.
It's intense. It's like watching Breaking Bad.
And we still never get any kind of explanation on Guinan and Q. Like, what went on there.
He's vulnerable to forks, we know that much.
I like the mystery. I hope they don't try to expound on that in Picard.
Yeah, in the same way, I don't want the origin of the Borg, I don't really want a full explanation of Guinan.
No.
Well, there's a part in there where Guinan has the opportunity to just murder Q, and she doesn't.
That says a lot about her. Very strong character.
Yeah.
She doesn't commit murder.
I'm pretty sure Q is the only entity that she dislikes more than the Borg.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't understand, though. Why does she have so much power that Q is afraid of her, but yet the
Don't worry about it.
Planet? That doesn't make any...
Don't worry about it.
Q might have some particular vulnerability to Guinan's.
Well, in this episode, Q has no power but all the attention.
She was about to force lightning him, obviously.
Yeah.
Unlimited power.
Guinan is the Senate, we know.
Yeah.
By the way, if anyone in the YouTube chat, if, say, you're joining us from the 6th day of Christmas, if you would care to join the voice chat, there's a link to that in the description. It's open to absolutely anyone.
Yes, please join us.
The more people I can get talking at once so I don't have to talk so much, the better. If I could just shut up for the entire show and let other people make my show for me, that'd be great.
I will actually the entire show.
That's what we're here for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
don't know if
And
I start
then-
talking too much. I'm going to start demanding.
Hang on, press
residuals.
play. No. I kind of missed the timer there. But
Oh, jeez.
We start over.
sure, let's start over. We'll do a quick 30-second countdown because I kind of forgot to do that. All right, 30 seconds.
Because we all need to be in sync, of course.
Otherwise, how will we do, well-timed barbs and,
Yep.
you know,
Everyone be
It's
queued up to
critical.
0. Season 3, episode 13, Déjà Q. Déjà Q. Oh, but Amazon doesn't have the fancy, symbols over the E and A. Anyway, press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Now we're good.
So they've got to push that giant asteroid. I
Oh,
know.
second
Mr.
fiddle.
Mr. Fiddle, I've had to mute you temporarily because I can hear the show going very clearly through your microphone.
But it's
I'll
good to know we're
unmute
all on time.
in 30 seconds. So you have time to adjust that.
Oh yeah, I like the way the alien says tsunami. It's just funny.
Oh yeah, these aliens.
All right, let's go ahead and unmute. Everything seems good so far.
Hey, sorry about that.
All right, yeah, you sound good. Could you throw something non-explosive at it and just deflect it that way? Because, I mean, that's a real thing. You just ram something into an asteroid and it moves.
It's a moon. It's probably too big to make any significant impact. It's already in the gravity well.
But it's an asteroidal moon. It's not a full proper moon.
Actually, yeah, we'd be able to do that like with modern day technology. Just
Yeah, we
give them
could-
6 years to put it together. Why can't they do this?
or tractor beam for that matter.
They do.
Yeah,
end
they're
up
going to
using that,
try
but
the
it's-
tractor beam, but it's not going to work for, dramatic plot reasons.
Bounce it off the tractor beam.
Here we go. Warp power to the tractor beam.
I like that he used real science words there. Delta V,
Very
that was
interesting
legit.
there. She described the seismic events as landquakes instead of earthquakes, which I think is
Yeah.
an interesting detail.
Oh, nice.
Oh, did they? Huh. I didn't even
You have
notice that.
earthquakes, you have moonquakes, you have just generic landquakes.
Moonquakes are a thing.
It's like when you're on the moon and you see the Earth rise, not the moon rise.
Yeah. How big is the Enterprise again? How many meters across?
Like 300, I think.
I thought it was
300 meters and
No, the D is like 700, isn't it?
It's like a
I think
kilometer, isn't it?
I think it's
It's a lot.
700. I
okay,
think it's
everyone's
700
disagreeing, so I'm
meters.
just gonna look it up.
I think it's 700 meters long.
I like that they
Why
have
is this so
no
high pitch?
idea. Randomly unplugging stuff to make it
Hilarious.
pop.
Oh, Q butt cheek. Come on.
The Earth is 93 million miles from the sun. If you ever want like a real factoid.
Okay, good to know. Good. I know how many
He's
light
already
minutes it is
internally
away from the
facepalming.
sun.
He is already screaming in his head. Yeah,
Yeah.
not today.
Space, the final frontier.
But the Picard facepalm is going to be after Q is like, these are not my colors, and he's so disappointed.
Yeah, this
Because they
happened
are
very
Q's
quickly.
colors.
Actually,
No, they're not. Q's outfit is actually hideous.
So, did they go to the captain's ready room, replicate clothes to give to Q for him to change on the bridge, and then then continue?
Continue and sit back and stand into the exact same positions? Yes, exactly. That's what happened.
Got it. That
Or
makes
maybe-
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to make fun of him. It's they're obviously trolling him.
I have a hypothesis. I think that Q was laying naked on the bridge and the computer transported clothes onto him. The computer automatically detects naked people on the ship and transports clothes onto them.
I used to think years ago that the reason that no nudity or whatever was in movies or anything was that devices were literally programmed to not record that kind of thing. Like when you saw it blurred
That'd
out,
be
that
some
means
pretty
that
fancy
it
stuff.
actually was incapable of recording it.
I can
And
see the logic there.
given holodeck technology, that's a more likely solution here than actually teleporting clothes onto someone.
Well, I have a relevant XKCD for that.
But those aren't real clothes.
I also used to think that swear words were invented in the mid 1970s because I never saw them in any media before then that was made before then.
Nice.
Yeah.
Don't worry, a lot of people seem to still believe that, actually.
Logical conclusion.
Enterprise D, overall length of 630
Okay, so the captain's going crazy.
to 473 meters
sorry,
and a
how
height
many?
of 133 meters.
Okay, so we'll just round to 500 for easy things. So that asteroid's probably like 4 or 5 kilometers across. It's pretty big.
Shorty just wants to crash the ship into the asteroid, see if it works.
That's a lot of assumptions you're making, Riker.
I'm a winter.
I don't know. John Delancey does look much better in red. Maybe it's just what I'm used to.
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a leftover fabric from season 1.
Look at those ridges on the shoulders and whatever. I can't imagine that anybody would purposely design that for anything but a costume, not real ordinary clothing.
That looks like half of Wesley's wardrobe, though.
Those boots, man. Those like leathery boots that Q is wearing are like similar to the Cardassian boots in their uniform. It's so weird.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
these
even
things have
think
such
Q
big boots.
understands
Ready.
what's happening.
Are you ready,
I just-
kids?
Die.
Yeah.
I just realized that Q's outfit here also does not have any pockets.
Maybe
Magnets are in
like the
everything.
entire division between green and gray, maybe that's just one giant pocket he can stick things into. Here it is. Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you,
great.
Captain.
So great.
Oh, Data's
So
taking
we
a selfie.
actually see him come out of the facepalm in video. That's funny.
He's so done already.
He just wants love and friendship.
In Q's defense, that is definitely rude to have a telepath like spew your emotions to everyone.
You know, I never noticed how strong of a widow's peak Q has. He has like a
Wow.
peninsula of hair.
You're just caught up in the zany charm, right?
Great
You
episode.
don't need
Exactly.
to pick up his.
That is Worf's greatest line.
Yeah.
Eat any good books lately. That
And
was a
the
good
geek Star
callback.
Trek.
Yeah.
Worf does his best when he has one to 3 words for a sentence.
Yes.
Right. Well,
I don't think
Klingons
I've
eat
ever-
people.
He is smiling. I don't think I've ever heard him say
I am
delighted.
not a merry man is 5 words, but that gets special dispensation.
Okay.
I think he's very merry today.
He
I
also
guess
has a
good
great
teen,
line
nice
coming
house is 4 words. So, okay, 1 to 5 words. 1 to 5.
up. He has a
Short
two-li-
sentences.
a two-word line coming up here that is probably the second best line in this entire episode for him.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Now, I wonder if he only walked around the turbo lift once, or if they had to do it twice and they put Worf in place after he did one lap.
Do they have
He's
a full
trying to be
turbo
more
lift?
human.
We have a full turbo lift set, but
I'm
Worf is
not-
probably like
Having to
hanging with the
bathe?
camera guy.
I'm not
Do
a
you think
merry
Deanna
man was
made-
preceded a captain. I protest.
Yeah. Do you think Deanna and or Jadzia made Worf start taking baths? I'm pretty sure we talked about this last week, but
I'm
Taking
sure.
baths?
I'm sure.
we
his
just
parents
established
would've-
again that Worf does not bathe.
He has
That's
an
gross.
earthy peony aroma with a touch of lilac.
Lilac.
And
Damn,
poo.
Worf.
Lilac thing
Why does
was
the enter-
good. Then you said prune.
Why does the Enterprise not just have normal doors anywhere? Why is everything these giant metal 3-ton ridiculous contraptions? Can't you just have a door?
No.
Something from blast doors. Something.
But why
something
does every
emergencies.
single corner, every single room need a blast door?
when an admiral needs to sit in the same room with an exploding torpedo, obviously.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Oh,
Close those
okay.
doors, man.
And couldn't they have put one of the big blast doors on the prison cells at least? Come on. You have big blast doors everywhere except the one place you need them.
God, I guess it would suck to be the security officer assigned to the brig when there's no one there. The dude is just
It's
sitting
like-
there.
It'd be
Like
like
O'Brien.
Listen
being
to the whole
O'Brien.
thing, yeah.
The lights
It's
aren't.
like every
nobody's
librarian in
transported.
America right now.
This is such a library.
Maybe Worf just like scrubs himself. Maybe he does take dust baths like a chinchilla. He just sort of
I'm sure-
exfoliates.
I'm sure his human parents would have had something to say about him not bathing.
Yeah.
Lighting is all directorial right now.
And if Worf doesn't
Yeah.
bathe, if Worf doesn't bathe, does that mean other Klingons don't bathe in general, or is that just Worf
Yo,
being like a Klingon weeb again?
you can see the top of the set. I saw that the top of the wall in the top left corner that was just a hard black triangle.
Oh, good.
All zoomed in. It's right above Picard's head.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by Klingons don't bathe, because in the other episode he talked about not having a smell to him.
I mean, because there are a couple times. There's one time Worf says swimming is too much like bathing, and he says it with disgust. And in this episode, Q's listing all the things he doesn't want to do as a human, and looks right at Worf and goes, having to bathe, implying that Worf does not bathe. He just doesn't do it.
Would you call a sonic shower bathing?
Yes.
Technically,
Apparently, it's
So-
better than an actual shower.
What is a sonic shower?
It's even better.
yes. There's no water.
It vibrates
So-
the dirt off of you, and the sweat, and everything else.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like bathing.
never-
That just sounds like cleaning yourself. Like there's no.
That's
You
what
can't
bathing
compare
is.
taking. You can't compare taking a sonic shower to swimming. I don't know what the heck they were cleaning themselves with before the sonic shower. Maybe then
mean,
they didn't.
Ask Worf, that's what he said.
Don't they do it in complete darkness? You know, like bathe their mind at the same time.
Also, why is it so... Speaking of darkness, why is it so dark in the brig? Turn a light on.
Like to calm them
That guy's
down.
tearing-
and get their mind to reset, you know?
Look at that guy. He's playing League of Legends in the background.
What's he thinking?
Gotta
Is
go.
he just
He's
trying to
gotta go.
ignore the whole conversation, or is he listening intently? Trying to pretend he's not.
Well,
He's not
Q
being
doesn't
paid
pick up
to
on
pay
everything.
attention.
He's not being paid for anything.
Here's $100 in a costume. Go.
Q
Oh, I
hasn't
would do it
figured
for that.
out.
If I could get a cameo, I would do it for nothing.
Oh God, yes.
You fell
Me
asleep.
too.
Q, you fell asleep.
It's kind of an art too. I mean, very punishing art.
I want to
go-
steal the prop. If I got a cameo, I would steal a prop off the set too. So I'd be a very bad actor.
Okay.
Ouch.
Yeah, falling asleep is kind of actually horrifying if we weren't so used to it.
It is.
You just kind of... If you don't dream, you just kind of stop existing for like 8 hours.
Hello?
Hi, how's it going?
Ring, ring, ring. Banana phone.
I like this brig. We don't see it again, but I like the fluorescent lights and the
Do we not?
inside and outside.
Oh yeah, we see this. We see this a number of times.
Yeah. What about
Isn't this where they
Q?
kept Hugh?
Yeah. And
Those are
Rogan,
nearly this big.
Roga Danar.
Yeah,
How dare
couple
you
of
be
days ago.
incorrect about something, Fiddle? How dare you?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. Okay.
So I think what Q is getting at, that he's not a threat. He's trying to say he doesn't need to be locked up because, you know, he couldn't even probably land a proper blow to somebody's face. So how is he a danger to anyone?
Because they still think he's powerful.
Yeah.
They don't believe him that he's
What
a
would a
human.
force field do?
Playing
Well,
along.
he's on everybody's
I guess.
mind, and like he's got all the attention.
Picard paused at that. He asked for a uniform. Picard stopped.
It's too bad we didn't get another Picard facepalm right there. Oh, Data.
So a recurring theme here is Data is an AI and wants to kill everybody, and so you see it come out in this conversation. I'll be quiet here. Just kidding. I'll point it out if nobody says anything else.
I mean, I'm always looking for times that Data is actually secretly evil, because it seems to come up quite a bit. You can never trust Data.
I don't know, he had like super red eyes in that conversation they just had in the brig.
So here he says, "I feel nothing at all," and I feel like that's kind of a key phrase.
Yeah, that's isn't that characteristic of sociopathy? Or am I misunderstanding sociopathy, Mr. DB?
What is specifically?
Lack of emotion?
Oh,
or is it a lack of empathy?
Yeah.
Specifically lack of empathy.
Okay.
Yeah, like a concrete example of that would be like a sociopath. He lived with his mother, and like he had a fight with her about whether he is allowed to go out or not. He was like trying to go out to the club or whatever again, and he killed her. And then he went out to the nightclub, like threw her body in the basement or something. So that's sociopathy because you didn't even like bat an eyelid at the fact that you what you did.
True story.
Yeah, that's murder. You're not allowed to do that.
Did they ever clarify what happened with Data and Kivas Fajo? Like,
So in the episode, in theory, there's an episode where somebody mysteriously dies, and she looks like his girlfriend, and so there's this sort of hidden meaning behind it that it could have been Data killing her because it reminded him of her.
Wait, hang on, remind me of In Theory.
Data has a girlfriend, and there's like a hidden meaning behind it.
Okay.
But it's not. I mean, it only lasts like the episode.
like at the end of that Kivas Fajo episode, does he actually kill him or try to kill him before he's beamed out at the very end?
Oh,
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah,
They say that the weapon had
I think that's
discharged.
pretty clear.
Yeah, but then he lies about it.
lies.
That's
like
just
in the
Data
next
being
scene.
secretly evil again. As we know, Data is secretly evil.
All humans.
I remember in 10th grade geometry class when we were introduced to mathematical proofs, our teacher, who was a Star Trek fan, assigned us to read an article from a magazine on that episode called Did Data Pull the Trigger? And it talks about that episode, and it says that it's trying to figure out did he or did he not. And so our assignment was to optionally try to prove or disprove whether did or did not pull the trigger. And all I could come up with in the end was if he did not get transported in that second, he would have hung up like a computer and not processed anything further.
You mean like blue screen to death?
Yeah.
Huh. The Data crashed. It has to be reset.
Deal with
I just
paradox.
realized what they're doing with the warp field is exactly what they do with the. It's almost exactly what they do to Deep Space Nine.
It's exactly what they do.
So in that scene we just missed, Q tried to explain something to Geordi, and it just went right over his head.
Yep.
But then it made
Q's-
sense after a minute went by, and you saw Geordi be like, "Oh, got it now."
Everybody talks about
Oh, no.
Chancellor
Wait,
Troy.
whoa. Sorry.
Did someone just swear? Did I miss it? What's with the whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
kind
whoa?
of.
We did. So,
In
Okay.
my Star Trek,
yeah.
Someone swore in my
Oh,
TNG?
Data's about to
No,
make a
no,
dick
what-
joke.
we're talking about physics for a second. I really love this episode, by the way. It's comedy gold. I feel like there's basically, God comes in human form. He's gonna have all the trouble with the back pain and the keyboards and all that. But the thing is that the reason I said whoa was because it's changing. Q's first suggestion was to change what we call Big G. Big G is the gravitational constant of the universe. Basically, all
Sure.
physics equations kind of rely upon that. Like, in other words, like, why does the moon go around the Earth? Why does the Earth go around the sun? So that's all dependent upon big G, and it's like calibrated and recalibrated and stuff. So the first thing Q says is like, "Oh, I would just change G," but then he's like, "You can't change G. We don't have that capacity." And then later, yeah,
If
he
we could
does
change
use
it,
the
it wouldn't
warp
be a
core.
constant.
Right. But I'm saying so. Yes,
going.
later, but he has an epiphany, and then yeah, they do change the gravity of the moon. But
I really like the red there in Guinan's outfit.
That's not a nice costume
too.
for her.
Sort of Q sharing his thought process with Geordi, and after Geordi sort of thinks about how does Q think, he's able to kind of anticipate what he was going to do.
Hang on,
with the
just
map.
for a second.
Oh,
No criminal
Well done,
charges.
Guinan. All right, feel free to continue.
No security. Nobody cares. This is fine.
No blood either.
Puts the fork back on the table. Nobody grabs it. Someone uses it to eat something later. They get Q blood.
Is she actually a member of the crew?
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Nah.
She's not Starfleet.
Oh, there's no badge. She's just kind of there, like Quark is.
She's
Contract.
Guinan. She tends bar and she listens.
It's like
But
at a
she's a-
university.
And she
It's,
stabs.
it's like at a university where you have faculty and then staff.
We have crew though, and officers. So there's already that
Civilians.
sort of distinction.
I remember in the episode Lower Decks, later in the series, in season 7, I think, there's another bartender who specifically says he's not part of Starfleet. I would assume Guinan is not either.
No, because we never hear. She's not Master Chief Guinan.
She's an independent.
Very curious about the.
Okay, 10 chocolate sundaes. Deanna Troy never ordered that, and everybody rags her for her love of chocolate.
I mean,
Captain, we are receiving pronouns.
does Troy
brags
know
about
you're
it.
allowed to order 10 chocolate sundaes?
Does the Academy have a mixology major?
Honestly,
So
yeah,
Boothby-
probably. You joke, but I think
Boothby-
it probably does. Go ahead.
Boothby was
again?
part of the faculty. Sorry. He was a gardener. If you can have a gardener working for a university, you can have a bartender working for the ship.
Ooh.
Shot
Vaguely
looks so
defined
grainy.
energy bean.
It's a negative space wedgie.
Oh, and there's Q in the background just pouting.
Did she just say calamarain? She just said calamarain.
Yeah,
Alamarain.
that's their name. It's not Alamarine, it's Calamarain. That's totally different.
Oh, calamarian? Mon calamari?
For
Sure,
Q, it really
these can
is
be
a
the fish
trap.
people.
Calamarain with squid.
Not just calamari, but mon calamari.
Yeah.
French, don't you know?
The only
Come on,
time
I
this ever
don't-
happened.
I don't like these old-style outfits where there's a little too much definition in the groin on a lot of people's costumes.
It's kind of a boring
Yes.
scene. They're just trying to build tension.
Yeah, how come no
Did you
one
say
has?
harmonics feel?
Yeah, something about harmonics, like altering the shield harmonics to match the, I don't know, shield harmonics.
Also, there was an attempted murder and 10 forward twice on the same person within 2 minutes of each other. We don't care.
Oh, stabbing somebody's hand is not attempted murder.
Not assault either, apparently.
It's 2 assaults for sure.
Assault, yeah.
Excuse me, that would be battery.
I mean, you have
Oh,
an
sorry.
energy being against a giant bucket of steel.
Depending
the-
on your jurisdiction.
That's not in my notes. I just made that up.
I could say assault with a deadly weapon. Forks are deadly.
Well, you can watch any Jackie Chan movie and learn what you can turn into a weapon.
Look at Riker standing up straight and not leaning on anything. That must be horrible.
I don't know, he kind of looks
Is it
like he's
Cooper?
leaning a bit.
He's slouching forward maybe a little, but his legs are totally.
He's doing
We,
his
we don't
best.
often see.
How did the Calamari know that he became mortal?
Right? Did the rest of you just like tell them?
Because they're ascended energy beings. They know everything.
I mean,
They know about the koala.
They're probably closer to Q than the
Guinan knew
human.
also.
Well,
So-
Guinan probably knew because people were talking on the Enterprise.
She does.
Yeah. This is the kind of news that would
No,
really travel fast, even if you did not want it to.
No, but Guinan knew that he was ejected from the Q continuum and things like that.
You heard
So,
that
like,
whining.
she knew reasons.
Now, I have a question for you guys unrelated to this episode. So I'm looking through the 6 Day of Christmas comments, just occasionally glancing over at them. Should I remove the comments that are just from people being toxic and like, oh, it's not a real show, it's STD, it's the worst thing ever, Alex Kurtzman is a plague on humanity? Should I censor those? Or just call them out for being stupid?
Second one.
You could just let it go and let people talk.
Also,
You could do the second one and then do the first one.
I would ease away. Feel free to call it out.
Delete them and not worry about them.
No, so far I have not removed any comments like that. So far I have
just
not.
leave them.
Just address the fundamental of it. It's really not a big deal.
Yeah, you the script thing. Like
It's not. It's not a big deal. I just like to make fun of them.
Actually, I have to watch,
Right. I mean, yeah, it's not a big deal. Okay. What's this thing? Okay, it's another Q and Data talking here. And Q still does not understand humanity. Data keeps throwing jokes at him.
How dare you,
Right
Data?
there. And Q is like not even offended because he's like kind of like in his own world.
So, removing
It's so
comments.
relatable.
Yesterday there was one guy who made some comment about how the frogs in his throat were racist. He was making some kind of joke and it got removed for some reason. Then he made a bunch of comments calling me out for removing it when I didn't remove it. And then those comments got removed. I have no idea what's going on there. And someone just
strikes again.
I was checking held for review comments, like maybe they got filtered out, but they're not there either.
You'd make someone admin on your YouTube channel and just like instruct them to remove it, and then that way you don't have to worry about whether they delete.
Well, no, the issue is the comment was getting removed, and he was making repeated comments, calling me out for removing them. But I wasn't removing any of his comments; they were just disappearing. It's like, was he removing his own comments just to start a scene? What's going on?
Other users report other users' comments. That could be.
Maybe.
Usually, people like that are just embarrassed. It's kind of
I was
like
just
in
so
chess,
confused. Like,
when
what are you
somebody
talking
just
about?
Disconnects. Yeah, same here.
Here's the TV logic, or whatever you want to call it. So they're in danger of this whole planet getting obliterated, right?
Yep.
Why is every ship in Starfleet not here evacuating the entire planet just in case?
I mean, as we've established, Starfleet is perfectly happy to let entire planets die if it's for their own interests.
Yeah, it's happened a couple of times, I think.
Prime Directive applies most of the time. They just let people die.
Like, you have 25 hours they established at the beginning of the episode. So you're right. We could have had more ships in here. But you're right.
How many ants would it take to push a tricycle?
Wow.
So this is why we don't help refugees in Syria. Thanks, Ryan.
Why would it be a tricycle?
What do you mean, thanks, Ryan? What did I do?
I'm just saying that's a callous answer because we got a moon falling on a planet. You're like saying, well, ants can't push a tricycle.
No, that was Jordy's metaphor earlier in the episode regarding the tractor. It would be like an ant pushing a tricycle. A slim chance at best. In reference to pushing it with the tractor beam.
Plant? How about a rubber tree plant?
Yeah.
Now, just because the people on the planet are filthy Xenos, are very like ants, that's completely irrelevant.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure that's the right shape for the warp field to affect the whole moon.
It's affecting a tenth of it, but that's probably enough, right? It's fine.
Well, it depends if they're young ants or if they're old, big ass ants.
Yeah, it could be older ants.
Like what type of ant? What species of ant are we talking here?
I think
The
it's got like
kind in the
7
crystal skull.
Like the ant from the movie It.
Yes, you will.
Oh, the ant
You'll
from-
definitely be spoken
the
to in
ant-
this manner. Go
Ant
ahead.
from Honey, I Shrunk the
Data wants to kick his ass right now. He's like, I don't want to hurt my back. I think his life's really in danger. But what do you guys think? I don't know. What is the okay? So they're both named Q in the end. I'm sorry to spoil the episode, but there's that weird guy in the end. Is like
Yep.
the same person. They're both Q. So
They're not the same person, but they're both Q. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
Q are named Q. That's the thing.
He's not just talking to himself like some weirdo creep.
No, it's like
No,
everybody.
definitely-
It's like all the aliens in Buckaroo Banzai have the first name of John.
Yeah, he is a weirdo creep, but he's a weirdo creep talking to another weirdo creep
Okay.
Yeah.
with
Oh,
the
and
same
guy
name.
in the front- Those two guys in the front have the old uniforms.
Yeah, in the script they just write Q and Q2. That's all.
Did they turn on an actual really bright light, or did they just turn up the brightness in post?
It's got to be post because they couldn't have done it both here and there.
Because nobody is squinting, is what I'm looking at here.
Yeah.
Nobody seems concerned about the light.
Look at them dance.
What is this? What is?
Ooh.
I mean, they did a good job of painting out the rig to hoist him up, but he was very clearly dangling on something.
But they're not in the forward sections.
Good robot fall. That was his credit for inspiring that.
Oh, the child Q isn't just in the books. The child Q is in Voyager.
Yeah.
There's the
And
Civil
then there's
War
also-
episode
Yeah.
where Q meets female Q, and then they have a kid, and that Q shows up and calls
And then
Janeway
there's-
Aunt Kathy.
And
She
then
was
there's,
Kalo.
And then there's Quinn.
She was, yes.
also in
Yeah.
Voyager. No, was the Q kid also played by John Delancey's real life son? I think so, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
I think it
Teenage
was.
version.
Okay. I mean, that sounded right, but I didn't know if I was confusing it with Picard's kid in The Inner Light being played by his own son.
That is also true.
I still don't get why they always take Data to sickbay and have Dr. Crusher work on. Dr. Crusher is not an engineer. This isn't relevant to her.
Yeah.
The engineering team should be working on Data here.
I mean, Jordy is.
But why Dr. Crusher? I don't
But why?
I don't
Yeah,
understand.
That doesn't make any sense.
So there's a moon falling on a planet, and you got the chief engineer doing surgery on the android.
Yeah, good point. Also, what would happen if she injected him with a hypo spray?
A bubble. It's just a bubble.
What's that book there in the background?
It's probably Shakespeare. Also, there's a desk crystal.
Oh, paperweight.
I'm disappointed they stopped making those. I never got one. I'll have
What,
to
crystal
scour
paper-
eBay for one.
Crystal paperweights?
You didn't have the $300 lying around for the replica?
I didn't even know it existed until well after it was discontinued.
Oh man, I think I saw them on Think Geek when they first released the orange things.
The orange things.
The orange like circuit looking things that are on the right side of the desk if we're looking from Picard's perspective. I'm sure we'll see them in a second.
Okay.
This talk here that Q has with Picard is my favorite moment in this episode because Q has this real Ebenezer Scrooge moment. Like if he had died, absolutely nobody would have cared. Or
Mhm.
missed.
I would
And
have
Dave
cared.
is willing to sacrifice his life
It's
for
amazing.
something he
I mean,
hates.
it's always been the most quotable Trek episode. Even at the beginning, it's like, well, why are you here? And he's like, well, anywhere I would go in the universe, Picard, you're the closest thing I have to a friend. He says that earlier, right? So
He does.
It was part of quotable Trek, and
Yeah.
it's literally in the book called Quotable Trek.
The episodes are really long. Star Trek.
Now, when Q says that line though, is he referring to everybody in the universe or everybody in the universe who's not Q? A Q. Does that meaning he has no friends among the other Q?
He probably doesn't
they did
consider
kick
any
him
of the
out.
Q friends, considering they just exiled him.
Yeah.
He's probably a little bitter.
I think he's always been the annoying part of the Q continuum. Yeah.
I mean, he's learning to deal with his emotions for the absolute first time in his life.
Oh yeah, canonically, actually, we do establish in Voyager that, as of this point, all the other Q kind of hate him.
Yeah.
Okay, so he really, well, maybe not really, but he's sort
He's
of
always
an outlier
leading
anyway.
some. Yeah.
He's
always starting
chaotic.
something. Like even
Everyone
his
else just
decision
wants
to
to
have
chill.
children in Voyager is like very controversial.
Oh, that's right.
And then we get to watch them touch fingers. And
You were so good. Oh no, you were good.
I don't know how he didn't touch the side of Data's head right there. I would have been like, "Can I feel?"
There should be a supercut of every time someone says, "You're almost human. You're a better human." Things like that
Oh,
towards
yeah.
Data.
Yeah.
I think
I did see someone made a supercut of all the time Data said, "I am an android." Which means I can't make that now because someone already did it. But I haven't watched it yet. Maybe they did an awful job and I can do it better. But no, it's probably fine.
You should sue them. They took your idea.
They took my idea of stealing someone else's copyrighted work. How dare they?
Monster.
It's interesting that Data had to defend his humanity. You know, he says, "I am an android." He's basically saying, "I'm basically a human." Right.
Has Q really thought this through? Does he really understand what it means to die at this point? He said he does, but I don't know if I believe him.
I think he's playing at the self-sacrifice thing. I'm pretty sure he knows that he's going to get redeemed here. He's playing him.
Well, there's a difference between being disliked and being actually hated.
And he is actually hated.
Oh my god. You really hate John Delancey?
I don't.
No,
I think
the other Q.
Yeah.
Everyone loves John Delancey. Except other Q.
Especially the bronies.
Yeah.
I don't know, I quite liked him as Alarak in StarCraft 2.
Oh, yes. And we got to see him in
Do you think we
Breaking
are
Bad.
fools? Yes, but that is irrelevant. Thank you, Q.
He's in
Everything
Torchwood.
is in, he just plays Q.
He was in Torchwood? Oh, hey.
The 4th season. The one that that Stars made, I think? Yeah.
And he's an air traffic controller in Breaking Bad. A very sad air traffic controller.
Good character.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of sci-fi after Star Trek from I think he's Babylon 5 at one point. But more precisely, he is in one episode of Andromeda.
Whoa, did Riker just swear in my Star Trek?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hey,
He's not allowed to do that.
I like this Q.
same outfit on.
I like him.
Same boots even. It's you.
So is this guy's permanent outfit now when he interacts with humans, or is he going to change to a Starfleet uniform as well? They don't seem to like to change clothes much.
Even they don't like their wardrobe.
Yeah.
Their colors.
I mean, Q could have changed. He had plenty of time. He could have gotten a new outfit.
He's got a very 90s haircut there.
With the bleached hair.
He pulls it off.
Is it Dennis Leary?
No.
It's not Dennis
The guy
Leary,
from Psych.
but he could be Dennis Leary. He sounds like he acts like Dennis Leary.
Where did he put the Delvetted asteroid belt?
Exactly like the hair that they give him in Psych whenever he's in flashback. Like,
It does, yeah.
yeah.
He's also
It's
got
like
a
8
pretty
years old
strong
hair.
widow's peak. Qs have widow's peaks, I guess.
Yeah. What does the Q kid look like? Hang on. Child Q.
Oh, he's probably got the same haircut as those other 7 boys that got temporarily adopted on the Enterprise.
What a Janeway to be the mom.
Child Q does not have a noticeable widow's peak.
Neither does Quinn.
It was half he was a half Q, right?
No, he was full Q.
Oh, he's cute.
Q wanted
Yeah, I
him
guess-
to be half Q, but he ended up being full Q because he had a kid with another lady Q.
Right.
With Susie Plaxton Q,
Yeah.
who was also
God,
KY.
it's so hard to talk about all the different Q at the same time because they're all Q.
Look at him. He's smiling. He's like, yes, it's working. I knew it.
Don't push it. Don't push a Q.
Yeah,
But they're
he's
not all
very
knowing, all
funny.
seeing. I don't understand what the Q's powers are, because, like, Quinn talks about, he tells Janeway, it's like, oh, you mustn't think of us as omnipotent. We're not all knowing, we're not all seeing, we're not all powerful. But here, this is just two Q talking to each other and saying they're all knowing, all powerful.
Well,
It's like, what?
they're talking themselves up, I guess, right?
That's a map
Yeah, I guess.
perspective.
These two Q here in this episode, seem particularly uppity guys, and Quinn is by far, I think, the nicest Q we've ever seen.
Save Thaddeus Riker.
Is Quinn what you call the second Q?
Was he allowed
No, Quinn
to
is
do...
the Q from Voyager who wants to die.
Oh, that guy. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like.
Did he win that case? I don't remember.
He did.
Good for him.
Debatably.
He got what he wanted.
He did.
The best. Here we go.
Yes. Look at Worf in the background.
Sure.
He's just shaking his head.
Yes, you guys are
Next door and trying not to break.
Bad camera angle here.
Q is amazing.
One of the earliest Trek episodes to be.
And for the rest of the scene, they'll be holding those cigars.
Can you imagine how awesome it would be to have a genuine Q cigar?
Wow.
It's not a Cuban cigar, it's a Cuban cigar.
Oh.
It's a good thing those aren't later. The fire suppression systems would have put a force field around it.
I don't
Oh,
need
no.
your fantasy women. I got my own.
Riker's gonna have to make a run to holodeck 4 again.
Oh, Worf has a cigar too.
Where's my women?
Like a father.
Maybe Picard would feel like, oh, Geordi has a cigar. Everyone has a cigar. Maybe Picard would feel like celebrating if Q told him that he moved the asteroid. Then they could have the mariachi. Yeah, Q does look so much better in that uniform.
The green
gifted
from the
it.
old uniform made him look like he had green blood, like he was a Vulcan or something.
At least he's wearing clothes, right? So he at least look good.
And he even combed his hair now. His hair was all over the place before.
Oh, this is a good moment too. Even
I
though
do
it's-
like this.
The question
Q's a
is,
nice guy.
What is going through Jada's mind? What is he thinking about?
A haircut too.
That moment on the oh shit. In the first episode where he tells the joke about the Ferengi.
Yeah? Go on.
I can't remember what the joke was. It's in Generations.
something he can stay, but the Ferengi has to go, or something.
Yeah, a monk, a
Something like
Ferengi, and a gorilla enter a bar, and then the monk can stay, but the guy in the gorilla suit has to go.
Thank you, Geordi.
From the Farpoint episode mission.
So, question: did they actually say that in the episode Encounter at Farpoint, or did they
Nope.
just create that for the movie?
They made it up, I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's
there's
one of those
another-
off-screen interactions of Geordi and Data being
Yeah.
friends.
This brings up the Prime Directive. If Starfleet isn't allowed to help lesser people, then are we allowed to accept help from the Q when the moon's falling on?
No, see, the Prime Directive only applies when it's convenient to us.
Oh,
Are they not a pre-warp species?
Yeah, if they're warp species, then it's fine.
No, it's not about. It's about like as we apply the prime directives to say the Mintakans, the Q would apply the prime directive to us because we're so primitive. But no, we don't care about that because I mean we need the help. So screw everyone else.
But should he
Yeah,
put
but-
the moon back?
Yeah, but at what point does the Q helped here? But at what other point did the Q outright help someone?
And the fire
No,
suppression
you don't.
system kicks in.
Well, I remember there's an episode of Voyager that I really like specifically because of this, where it's the prime directive turned against the Starfleet crew. Where
The one with the
Yeah, that's like a first season episode.
is it
even.
the is it
the
the
spatial trajector or whatever?
yeah? I'm trying to think of the
Yeah.
exact word. Is it called a trajector?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, yeah, that thing. Where Janeway finally gets the prime directive turned around on her. It's like, oh yeah, this actually feels really bad coming from the other side. Maybe we should rethink this. This is awful.
Too bad she couldn't
Proceed.
tell anybody else in Starfleet.
That's what the
Yeah.
entire Delta Quadrant.
I think it's implied later that the Borg assimilate them. They're done.
Well, there's a notable
Yeah, it's
difference between how they carry out the prime directive versus just the prime directive philosophy by itself.
They're
You know,
just-
like if
I'm
the
saying
entire
with the
civilization is gonna die, then I think it's okay to help them.
Yeah,
Enterprise.
Picard is
They don't really make that
implied.
distinction.
I like
Seven
the
of Nine
spirit
said
of
it
the
in
prime
Picard.
directive, but they're way too strict about it.
Strict.
Seven of Nine
They go
implies
way
that
too
the
extreme.
Borg assimilated the spatial trajector.
Okay.
In
Yeah.
Picard. She doesn't imply it, she says it.
Well, I mean, without the prime directive, you know, it wouldn't be the same. Like,
So-
how would you establish a law if you couldn't just simplify it into like a single statement? You know.
But
Oh,
have
by the
you
way,
read
1 minute to the next episode.
I read the
A
prime
matter
directive.
of perspective.
Have you read any real life law book? It's incredible how complex it is. A
Yeah.
single sentence takes up a whole page.
Is there a law
Yeah.
about strict liability and letting an entire people die when you can save them?
Right.
We we don't sorry, it reminds
don't
me
help
of there-
people?
there was- Yeah, well we
Right.
it's weird. We don't have that big of a sample size, but yeah.
Well,
I
Starfleet
don't know,
doesn't play God.
Yeah, I mean, but also there's a difference between just, for example, the state of technology and all that between the U.S. and like an African tribe, for example, than there is between.
Hang on, press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Continue.
There's a bigger difference between like the Starship Enterprise and the Mintakans and the U.S. and a remote tribe, for example. It's huge. And I think that has to come into like account also.
Right, like a difference between Indian culture and American culture. You know, like they're more like kind of safe face and they lie more and they're not as upfront, but they're still just normal people. They're not being deceptive. But in America, we value sort of being open and upfront and honest
Wow.
about everything.
I'm amazed that they got away with that on television.
Yes, it's very risque for Star Trek.
I'm amazed that the computer didn't automatically detect that and transport clothes onto them like it did for Q.
So it's a They do a hologram thing, but they don't have the holo emitters in the whole ship like Voyager does. So they're naked here.
I just think how awkward it'd be to have the captain of your ship painting you naked.
Yeah.
Just in general.
And she doesn't seem to mind. She's cool with it.
Now this guy just has a simple, solid red shirt on it.
Oh, there's a meditating dude on it.
Okay.
If you go back, there is like an embroidered thing right on the
Wow.
front center. It looked like a meditating guy.
This lady is awful at her job. What is she? Doesn't look like a woman at all. What is she
that-
painting?
The bottom half.
That's not
I
even
actually
close.
think the top half of that is a violin and the bottom half is her legs.
Now,
That was
very
kind of-
important here. Remember, Data has no emotions. Remember that.
I'm just thinking, does that lady actually
Well-
come to the painting class to learn to paint, or did she just want to look at the naked lady? Because she's not drawing the naked lady.
She's
Well,
really
maybe,
bored.
I mean,
Maybe she's reimagining the lady as if she was a violin.
She's tripping on acid. She's just painting it.
You might
Wonder if
recall the
Picard has nine
TNG
measure-
edit of Data freaking out at this painting and, destroying the entire ship because of it.
Oh, he tears it apart.
Oh, I posted the edit in Discord.
Oh, you did? Oh. Nice.
Data can still get offended, but it just takes a lot more than that to offend him.
Dicosilium.
I don't think we've ever heard that word. Oh, hey, it's that one.
Well, yeah.
That looks like
Yeah.
Earth. That looks like an Earth base.
Dr. Nell Apgar.
Yes. There were a lot of problems. You could just say one to
not even on.
transport.
Kaboom!
O'Brien gets
No
something
more.
to do.
I like that it
Look at you.
explodes, but it's still there in the whole rest of the episode.
Yeah. No, it's not
Is
there.
he-
It's gone.
Is
Holo-
he?
holo
le-
version.
Old
Yeah,
crew
they
member in the back.
hologram.
Sorry.
I also like how they're able to transport something that's already been destroyed all the time.
I think they do that a couple of
Happened
times.
to the other
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
300,000 people there.
I think
Just
then again-
constantly. Something blows up and then they transport. Happens all the time.
it does. We always
That-
see the explosion.
That succeeds as often as manual override fails.
Oh, look, it's
True.
Lieutenant O'Brien again.
Oh, hey. What's going on, Lieutenant?
What?
Because O'Brien
Oh.
doesn't actually have a rank. It just changes all the time.
Oh yeah, and then seeing it going back and forth from DS9 where he has a bigger role.
Besides O'Brien and
That's
Worf, was anybody else from the next generation a regular on DS9?
No.
Just Worf and O'Brien.
We do get
I mean-
to see like Thomas Riker at one point in Picard's in the first episode.
When you say regular, I mean we could say that Gowron is kind of a regular.
Okay.
Oh, that's true.
that would-
Gowron.
Don't think
Vosh
existed
shows
till
up
DS9.
once.
She does, and Q technically.
Yep. And gets punched by another half-god.
Probably really hurt.
Those
Clone Riker
episodes I've
shows
not
up.
seen yet. Oh yeah, Thomas.
Yeah. And everybody.
Do we have
And
data
Qu-
at some point?
Quark was...
Um,
No, we get Bashir in TNG. And we get
Yeah,
Quark
Bashir-
in TNG.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we get Deep Space Nine in the pilot of Voyager.
And we get several TNG people on Voyager.
Except not really, technically. But definitely exactly the same people. Officially different people. How many
Hardly.
characters are there on Voyager that are clearly just their TNG characters, but with a different name? There's Vorik,
Yeah.
Torek, and Tom Paris, who's Nick Locarno. Is there... How many other people are there? I think there's more. I feel like there's at
Maybe
least one
more.
more.
What's his name? The hypochondriac.
Oh,
Barkley.
are we?
Barclay. Yeah.
I mean, he's just himself.
Right.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
So
I
Dr.
feel like
Apgar was the only casualty. Only one guy inhabiting that entire space station? That seems
I mean,
hey,
unusual.
Maybe it was really
Barclay's
small and
not.
just a lot closer to the camera than it looked.
It's a
Some
tiny,
might say it's the size of a model.
it's a tiny house space station.
This station is large. Or sorry, this station is small. That station is far away. Small space station?
Oh,
Far
Oh.
away space station. Oh, and this is the episode when the guy comes on the bridge and is like, this is Commander Riker. There we go. Chief
Well,
Investigator
Riker.
Craig. This is the one intake that's been blocked by CBS and will never reappear. Or Captain
May I
Picard.
ask why?
I don't know. It just says blocked. My guess is because there's some rights issue with the guest star, but I don't know. It just says blocked.
Somebody in Discord said nicknamed this episode "Murder Beard Wrote," and now I want Angela Lansbury to be a guest star in it.
Has speaking
This
of
is
which,
Angela.
has Betty White ever been in Star Trek? don't think
No,
so.
No.
sadly.
Betty, no.
There's still time. She's still alive.
I know.
Okay, I think I've been
Oh,
seeing.
right.
Sorry, guys.
Make her a good
This is my
star for
first
them.
officer. I know his name. So yeah, that's where Captain Picard forgets Commander Riker's name. But we'll never see that again unless you buy the blooper reels for yourself.
Now that guy's coat there looks distinctly Terran.
I like this guy. It does too.
Perrin, are you saying he's from the Mirror Universe?
Yes.
No, just Earth.
Just a very aggressive jacket. A chimeric jacket.
Fedora.
That jacket looks pretty Imperial to me.
Why is this kid who doesn't even old enough to have a license piloting a starship? Damn it.
Flag shit.
I really would like a 360-degree picture of the ready room.
They're orange things.
Is that the orange thing?
Yeah, the orange things on his desk. They were like $300 for like a master replica a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I never knew, but that was the other thing. That and I think the crystal paperweight were put out as like part of the same product line.
Were they made as Star Trek merchandise, or
Yes, they were made
Oh,
as they were officially licensed, limited run, basically decorative paperweights.
okay? So it was something the crew created for the episodes.
So the chief investigator says in their system of justice, they're guilty until proven innocent. If Picard wanted to solve this problem, could he just say, "The chief investigator assaulted me in my ready room," and then he's guilty? He has to prove otherwise.
Checkmate.
Yeah.
Just get him out of here. It's a
It's one of the
terrible
things that
system of
bugs me about
justice.
Star Trek is that when they want to create something that is foreign and different, they sometimes pick something that's extremely unreasonable. Like, no justice system would, by any reasonable society, no justice system would start from the position that you have to prove someone is innocent, because proving someone is innocent, it's
You can't do it.
You can't do it.
You can't prove a negative. That's the problem.
Yeah. And like there was the only time when it seemed reasonable was in Deep Space Nine, an episode we watched recently on the episode Destiny, where they have the Cardassian scientists who say they didn't report the one thing scientifically because their scientific methodologies differ. And the scientists are like, oh, well, of course we'd like to do it the right way, but the government doesn't want us to make something look risky. That's the only time it's explained away with something
Okay.
reasonable. Every other time, it's insane.
The
Right.
Cardassian justice system is also all kinds of screwed up, but that's for, fascist police state propaganda reasons.
That's for a
Oh,
brand.
That I understand.
They're on brand,
Riker
yes.
just like slide into the back so he could look in on the conversation. That was so unprofessional of him.
Yeah. I
No,
saw
you
that.
can guys help me figure out the subtext about this one. I feel like we kind of were lazy last episode.
I don't know if I'm any good with subtext, but I can try.
I think this is just a 3 stories episode that happens to have a conclusion that's like factually demonstrable in the holodeck. Like this guy's problem is you have to prove that he's innocent, and they find a way to prove that he literally had nothing to do with it. I think this is just Riker getting railroaded until he isn't. Kind of like Worf was.
Oh, some more spooky music.
Oh, there's that book again.
Yeah, and the
Someone said it's the complete works of Shakespeare, and I can believe that if that's what it actually
Could
is.
be Gilgamesh.
Yeah, I mean, Q reads from it in one of the season 1 episodes.
He takes it out
Oh,
of the
in that
display
case-
case?
And the season 1, it's not in one. It's just sitting on the desk.
Dude,
Oh, okay.
it's just staring into Riker's soul.
She just
I
touches
mean-
beard.
She's trying to assess, did he actually murder someone? You'd think she would be able to tell.
And or rape them in the process, according to the testimony.
Yeah,
do any of the characters think that he murdered him for real?
I don't think we see characters after this. It's mostly courtroom stuff past here.
I mean, I remember Deanna will be like, I believe... Deanna basically says, I believe that you believe you didn't murder him.
Well, that doesn't help.
That doesn't help at all.
Yeah, well, Troy.
Unless you want to
just
plead
doesn't help.
insanity.
I shouldn't laugh, but
But I don't
funny.
think we really get any details on what other people think they did. Maybe... I doubt Captain Picard thinks he murdered him. Worf probably thinks he did, and Worf's happy with it.
Here's
That's
an
a pretty
interesting-
high margin of error.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Deanna can talk to Riker telepathically. That's right, we established that in season 1, and never bring it up again.
She's been talking this whole time then, because she was really eyeballing him. She's wearing
Yeah.
heels.
She's all like, do you remember what I taught you, Imzadi? It's like, how can you do this? Riker's not telepathic, how does this work?
It's like Riker's waiting for the moment to speak, but like, is he ever going to say anything?
Did you, Riker? Did you actually?
Yeah.
It's like super comfortable.
Wait a second. Picard says that it's up to the captain to determine extradition, but on Deep Space Nine, they went to like the
Yeah.
Majoran magistrate for extradition. Why wasn't that Cisco's decision?
I don't think it's a Federation vessel. That's probably
Remember in the episode where Worf is accused of destroying a freighter of civilians? They get a Federation admiral to determine
Yeah.
extradition there.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this was actually Worf in this situation, if they'd just be like, yeah, he killed somebody. But like Riker, he's just such a sweet, like, it's kind of scary if he killed somebody because he's just like this, so innocent looking.
This is one of the times when Riker sat down on a chair normally, too. Earlier.
Oh, did we see
Deanna,
him sit down? I missed that.
Yeah,
Hey,
I had
it's
to
the
replay it.
it's the landlord.
Deanna, couldn't
from
you have at least
Ventura.
put on a uniform for the trial? Come on, Deanna.
That same outfit 18 hours ago when they started programming the holodeck. It's been 18 hours.
She just has a bunch of those.
Who is this actor? I like the landlord from Ace Ventura guy.
Are we talking about the dude or the lady?
The dude.
I definitely recognize him.
That is Mark
He looked like
Margolis.
Aerosmith.
Mark Margolis, which doesn't mean anything to me, but maybe that name means something to you.
I just know him as the
don't remember
landlord
him.
from Ace Ventura.
Okay.
That's the only thing I know him from.
There's a sexual overtone to everything that they're doing and saying here if you read deeply enough, or if you want to construe it that way.
Well, I believe that they're telling the truth, that they actually felt that he was coming on to them by just how well kept he was and like his tact and everything. And but Riker, he doesn't really experience it as a sexual kind of situation at all.
That
That's
is a
later.
totally legitimate, defensible thing. I mean, like,
He's
she's
an
been living on the...
unintentional flirt.
He just looks so much better than her husband does because he's new. So she could totally misinterpret that. This is...
Oh, this guy is also Hector Salamanca in Breaking Bad, you say. Interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
make the connection.
Yeah.
Salamanca? Whoa! That's the wheelchair guy, right?
Yeah.
Yo.
I feel like if I ever did makeup, I'd do it like that woman's.
Including the forehead ridges or just the...
Yeah,
It's
like
the
a
color.
cosplay kind of thing.
Are those windows behind Riker and behind on the other side of the room? Because if so, what are they looking at? Because they were in space with a planet behind them.
Oh boy, it's all purple now.
It's mauve, actually. Just
Mom AF. And there's an electric bong on the cabinet in the top right. Look at that. It's got a light
Why
on it
does
and
it-
everything. It must be charged.
Why does it have rocket fins, though?
No, I think that's a water cooler. I don't know
it's a
what you're
space
saying.
bong.
So it can go faster.
Okay.
Space bomb.
Then if they want to go faster, why didn't they paint it red?
It's so nice with this alien
There's a little
space
light
station.
bulb.
All cars buttons.
I
Don't
think
you
I
have your own
recognize the
holodeck?
odds.
If
Wait,
she's
wait.
bored, doesn't she have her own holodeck?
Who's telling
Poor
that
Deanna.
story? Is
I'm
it-
starting to
this
think
is-
politics are human exclusive.
This is Riker's perspective, and he fed it into the computer.
Oh, he thinks she's easy.
So believable.
Maybe the reason I don't recognize this guy as Hector Salamanca is because Hector Salamanca never speaks. I mostly go on voice.
What?
So this guy
Less
guy
hair,
doesn't
too.
read a Salamanca at all to me.
Hmm.
Just saw him sit down and like aggressively chew on something, then maybe you'd see it.
Yeah. Can we put this guy in a... Riker, can you just punch this guy? Break his legs?
We see that until we get to the lady's testimony.
Okay.
That over the shoulder shot, I feel like I'm watching like riff tracks or Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is a good episode.
We are doing riff tracks.
True.
But we try not to break the fourth wall.
Okay, so
What
now
is
the
he
windows in the
calibrated?
background are just of regular space instead of the red space clouds.
Yeah.
Well, it rotates, so it's a different patch of the sky.
They
Maybe
ran,
they-
ran out of that
But
red
there were
space
no red
cloud
space
money.
clouds anywhere in space nearby.
Maybe
Also,
there were.
they're not moving.
Maybe they were just Brassard collectors outside that window.
I like to think it was just his choice of interior decorating.
Maybe there's like a
Just like
rotating
that.
habitation or something, and the rest of the station stationary.
You know, like if you have a voice controlled light in your living room, you can make the lights purple or yellow or red.
Yeah, no, that is a good point. Maybe it was just the romantic lighting in Riker's mind. Riker just remembered it being romantically lit, and that's what the computer did with it.
Yeah, it's just a color. It's not.
It's not a
But it was a
color.
romantic
It's not,
color.
it's not like it's a color.
It's just a color. It's not a phenomenon.
I have to admit, I do have voice control color change lights, and I do have Red Alert programmed to make them all red.
Nice.
Good. By the way, are you playing this through speakers or headphones?
Me?
Yeah.
Headphones, is it picking up on the mic?
No, but if you were using speakers, I was going to try and activate your red alert, but apparently that's
Oh,
not
yeah,
going to
no,
work.
Good try. It's locked to my voice. Still makes me mad. I can't just say computer, but I don't want to move over to Amazon Echo
I
or
just
Alexa
don't.
or whatever.
I don't trust those devices. I don't want to have them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel comfortable with that listening to me.
Oh, that's a good.
Understandable. Understandable. I just, accept it. Radical openness.
Okay. Now, if I could have one that doesn't have to connect to the internet, if it could just like run off my computer or something, I'd be
Wait,
down.
if Riker did that, then he would have been holding a phaser when he beamed out.
Oh yeah.
That's a good
Which is
point.
Looking at
So-
it like, why are they really believing
Yeah.
this? That's that face. He's thinking the same thing. But there are no cameras in the teleporter room, so there's no.
O'Brien would have said there's a weapon discharging. all
Someone,
that.
someone
weapon
probably would have
discharge
noticed. Riker, why are you holding a gun?
Even without a video camera, and even without O'Brien's eyewitness, you would have sensed there would have been sensors recording the energy discharge.
Yeah.
This before or after the most toys? Because I don't know if that weapon discharge thing is established until then. 'cause
It's-
they use it as a
This is before.
This might be an actually moment. It just hasn't been established yet.
Yeah, maybe the maybe it's because of this episode they install that feature.
I like that theory.
Which
Oh, I
installs
totally
which feature?
forgot this has the worst holodeck science in the whole show.
Do you mean how it doesn't make any sense that they were able to
on...
perfectly replicate the lab that they didn't know anything about?
With
Is
an
that
8%
Well, I
margin
think
of
they
error.
knew
That
I think they knew
the holodeck lab was able to create this.
Is that a painting? Because
Makes
if
no
it is,
sense.
it's really good.
Are you talking
Yeah.
about the defector and then the other one?
What about the? I kind of lost the plot.
Sorry,
What?
yeah.
We didn't want to program a new table so that you had something to lean on. Sorry.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Make
I see
the
what you
table
mean.
3 feet longer is way too much.
Yeah, no, we're not even going to bother.
Just get a new table. Yeah.
It's bolted to the floor. Like,
What if this episode was way more, or way less like it is, and way more like the movie My Cousin Vinny?
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. Hey, that's the
Would
wrong
Riker
movie.
be the Ute in that context? I don't know if I want to
Actually,
hear
that's
Chief Investigator Crag with a Brooklyn accent.
Actually, that's a really good point here. They're holding this trial or whatever, but there's absolutely no judge. There's absolutely no attorney.
But this isn't a trial. It's an
It's an
extradition
extradition.
hearing.
Yeah, Picard is kind of the judge, or supposed to be anyway.
which is why he's being so stern with not talking to Riker. Yeah, he's acting as the adjudicator, I guess. Is that just
Now we're
like a
back to the
space
red
heat?
romantic space clouds.
It's kind of hard to figure out the order of these events here, but it's almost like it's based on another plot line, but not like intentionally.
What is going on with Tana's hair? Good lord. It's like Kid and Play or something.
I like her Velcro closed shoes.
She's a truncated cone head.
Like they're trying not to make it cliche.
Oh, I just remember something from earlier we were talking about why Deanna isn't in an actual uniform. There was an interview with Marina years ago, and they put her in that because they said the casting people said she was too fat.
They put her in
the.
the
Marina Sirtis was too fat.
This
an
is
issue the
too
whole time.
fat.
Does she even have any fat?
The original
Like any?
cat suit has it
Like
just
Hollywood.
barely shows a little bit of paunch under the belly button, and it's less noticeable than John DeLacy's crutch, but it's there.
So Marina, they want her to wear that because Marina Sirtis looks like a human.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought I saw that interview. I thought she said that she had to wear the Starfleet uniform after Captain What's-His-Face.
Well, yes. Once they get Jellicoe in, they finally
Yeah.
allow her to wear the uniform. But that's why she started out
It looks better.
wearing these non-standard uniforms.
That was his actual name, Captain What's His Face.
So I didn't catch who you said, if you did, who made her do that, but I'm going to go ahead and guess it was Rick
Angelica.
Berman, because it's always Rick Berman.
Oh yeah, actually,
Captain
Rick Berman was in the opening credits for this episode, but it was the Roddenberry decision originally.
Thanks, Roddenberry.
It was an interview on the podcast called Mission Log,
Love it.
Okay.
and yeah, they did that. And she talked about that.
It's a good interview.
That podcast is why I've watched this show so many times.
Yeah, if we're talking about the same thing, I just don't like how they talk about the writing. I'd rather them talk about the show, which is kind of what we're trying to do, I suppose.
Yes,
This is
it's
to
a different
watch them all.
perspective on the show. You know, it's a good one. How many times can I say perspective and have it apply?
In a
here?
matter of perspective,
Uh-oh, you said the secret word.
I've said the word 3 times since the stream started.
There you go.
Oh god, the absolute worst interpretation of Riker's character ever, right here.
Yeah.
I mean, the earlier bit when they were in the room with Dr. Apgar, that actually kind of seemed like Riker. I could buy that he was doing that. This, not so much.
Yeah.
It's like early Bond, just very, very rapey.
This is how Barclay sees Riker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she's remembering some very specific metaphors that Riker supposedly used. She's a princess in a very high tower. Like, did she make that up, or did Riker actually say that? I don't think Riker's allowed to do this in the middle of Witness. I don't think it's quite testimony, but this. This feels like it's against the rules.
Okay, those are not
I'll allow it.
Finn. I was able to
But you
see
better
the
be
thing
going
on
somewhere
top of
with
it.
this.
Definitely a space bunk.
How did they get the special effect there of him walking behind the characters, especially when one of them is himself?
Oh, you couldn't recognize the resolution dropping 10 times for that shot? You didn't see?
Freeze frame and a clean background plate.
Yeah,
There
You
it
get
is.
an image of just the background, you get an image of them standing on the background, then you use the image of the background with no one standing in it at the exact same angle, like a green screen.
Yeah, remember Next Generation was filmed. It wasn't like video recorded. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with a film that you can't do otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
All those data lore episodes.
Okay, the look in the lawyer's face, it looks like he doesn't even believe his own story. He's just happy to like stab the Federation. with a
This
knife.
really comes off as a false accusation episode, which I'm not sure how to feel about that, because like she's obviously and we're supposed to not believe her because she is lying.
But
You mean
Deanna's
he?
about to say she's not lying.
This scene
So
is
what
also where the double facepalm screenshot comes from, right?
Yeah.
Next time Picard walks in, we already got Riker doing it.
So we're supposed to take from this that Riker did not in fact try to rape someone. But clearly the way he was acting, if she doesn't think she's lying, clearly the way he was acting makes someone extremely uncomfortable with him. So you should probably still re-examine how he interacts with people on away missions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's
Something
safe to
is an
say
issue
that.
here.
I think it's safe to say that Riker was not acting fully appropriately, but it
Yeah.
probably wasn't as extreme as the way she portrayed it.
There's a very good chance that he was hitting on her, but
Yes.
not that much.
No,
All
from
spooky
Riker's
music.
perspective, from Riker's perspective, he wasn't hitting on anyone.
That's just the way he talks to pretty ladies, yeah.
Yeah,
And then he needs to re-examine how he talks to pretty ladies, because clearly it's making them very uncomfortable.
what are
you doing, Riker?
Flaw for sure. Yeah.
Especially if they're already married.
Who?
There's someone right in the room.
Called Riker's Gambit.
There's someone in the room. Oh yeah.
Riker, I feel like you shouldn't be here right now. Go to your quarters.
Yeah. Yeah, why isn't he just confined to quarters or relieved of duty at least?
At a
Well, 'cause
minimum,
maybe
he
they-
should be
maybe they
on the
know
bridge
him,
instead
they
of
know who he
actively
is.
participating in the investigation.
Shut up, Wesley. Jesus.
I don't think it will ever not be funny.
Every time we get the shot of the planet, it's the same shot, by the way. Look at those bumps on the planet. If this is actually to scale, and that's supposed to be a planet, how tall are those mountains?
That's true.
Yeah, those are like,
'Cause, like, Earth is as smooth as Earth is smoother than a billiard ball, even including Everest. You can't really. It's not.
yeah, that's like Olympus.
Well, we don't know. So obviously they live in a 1G environment, or they wouldn't be able to walk around. But we
Those
don't know
mountains
how
have to
big
be
the
like 10
planet-
times Everest.
Did we
Is
see
the
how much
planet-
atmosphere was on the planet?
The planet could be smaller than Earth, but much denser. So
Yeah, I
It would
guess.
just be a rocky, non-atmospheric planet with like survival or like habitation domes or something. They said they beamed down to the planet. It doesn't necessarily look like it's populated like ours would be.
That's true. Yeah.
It looked like a little research colony or something that happens to have a space station.
Wait,
That's gratuitous.
whose recreation is this?
This is the assistant that wasn't in the room or here for any of this.
Yeah.
and this is apparently admissible evidence in their society.
This is. She wasn't here for it, but this is the testimony Dr. Apgar gave to her. This is what Dr. Apgar said happened.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
Which is
hearsay.
why Dr. Apgar won that fight.
Oh, straight up hearsay. Got it.
Oh, notice all the fuzziness around all these characters, because that background's going to fade away in just a little bit.
Yep, I love being able to see that.
There it is.
Love it.
I didn't even remember that was going to happen. I just saw the fuzziness. It was like, no, that's definitely...
With the old Scooby-Doo episodes where it's a matte background, but one of the boxes is like bright yellow. I wonder where the guy's going to pop out of.
I don't know.
Neon green blanket there,
That chair. What in the world?
right? He's the most
Is that just-
uncomfortable chair ever for this species.
Is that more uncomfortable than Worf's ball chair?
I've seen
Possibly.
those. I've seen those more or less in real life. It's the kind of chair that you can fold up and use as a cane and then expand into a chair. Except I didn't know that they were made that far back in real life history.
It's so old that we think it's futuristic.
That makes me think of the movie Forbidden Planet, which is an excellent movie, especially for its time.
So speaking of Prime Directive, they're trying to figure out what they have to do in this situation because literally their opinions have no weight. I mean, it's Starfleet, it's the aliens. There's
Yeah, that's the diplomatic incident.
Okay, so we asked before, do they actually think Riker did it? And clearly Picard is saying, no, we do not think he did it at all.
This is nice though because he's straight up justifying why they haven't just flown off yet.
God, he shouldn't have to prove his innocence, Deanna. He shouldn't have to.
Well, I think Riker would know if a woman is not interested in him. So if he flirted with her at that point, it would just be fake.
Oh, there's another outtake right here. So I think what's actually going to happen is someone turns around and says, "Aye, sir," in the outtake. Everybody turns to Captain Picard and says, "Aye, sir," at the same time.
Yeah.
What a
Except one
wonderful
guy
cast.
who says, aye, aye.
Only one eye. We're not a pirate ship. Lambda field generator. What is a lambda field? I don't think that's a real thing. I think they made that
Gordon
up.
Freeman. Gordon Freeman does not think that lambdas are harmless. I don't think he'd phrase that.
Lambda means frequency, so it's a frequency field generator.
So it's a speaker. It makes noise. Speaker.
I don't. So lambda can mean a whole bunch of things. What would be the best thing in this context that lambda could mean? Lambda can mean frequency.
Functional programming.
It can mean density. It can mean
But I
a
mean,
half-life. Period.
It's also the name of a gay and lesbian legal foundation called Lambda Legal. So
I mean,
that would be
there's gamma radiation, there's delta radiation, lambda radiation.
That's a lot of kinds of radiation, apparently.
Lambda radiation isn't a
That's not really
stretch.
a theta now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I like the program is frozen, but all of those screens are going on.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think that
yeah,
happens
you're right.
several times. Actually, they pause it, and everything in the background is still going.
Well, they have to do a camera pan here, so they can't freeze frame it.
That's one thing that I really appreciate in rewatching Star Trek is all of the really good set design and prop design. and everything's just really well done, I think, and really imaginative.
Yeah.
Like that grill, for example, on the wall. That's just a grill that they put on there. That's pretty ingenious to add some aesthetic.
Make it look futuristic as a direction worked out real well for these guys. Yeah, like what is that? Not even the ones on the ground. The one on the wall behind the inspector.
It looks futuristic, is what it is. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, cast shade on the wall. I love it. It's just decorative.
I mean, I would say why not. People have all kinds of wall decorations. That's honestly not half bad as a wall decoration.
Yeah, throw a
I don't
light
know
bulb behind
about
it.
the-
Be a tasteful light.
I don't know about the bending away from the wall. If it's just by itself, maybe have it flat, but then it wouldn't cast as interesting of a shadow. So yeah, is this the part? Someone was saying earlier that this doesn't make any sense. Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, because basically what we're saying is that not only did the holodeck create like just the appearance of the things, but it actually created the exact machine, like everything that the machine does.
I mean, he did.
The
spend
holodeck
18
is not that advanced.
Well, Jordy's saying here that the converter is literally just mirrors that are set up in a very fancy way. It could recreate that.
I think this is legit. This actually sounds very reasonable for some of the wacky things the holodeck has done. It's just building.
If it's just a bunch of fancy mirrors, I don't know what those weird devices and all the LEDs were for.
Prisms,
Blinking mirrors?
fancy mirrors.
Blinking and beeping and beeping and blinking.
I think I saw in the Amazon trivia that this was the same space station that they used in Star Trek 2.
Okay. I don't actually remember much about Star Trek 2. I remember the Genesis device and the Enterprise gets all shot up on the side. And he yells Khan.
Yeah, there's
no
no
much
line,
about this movie.
right? So
There's the face-off with the Reliant, which is probably my favorite part. Even though I haven't seen it in a
more
long,
than a
long
dozen
time.
times. I could tell you the whole story from beginning to end if you want.
That fight at the end was so good.
Picard,
The footage.
Picard has a fuzzy edge. Get ready for the fade out. Well, no, he's just standing against a background plate, so it doesn't need to fade out.
So you don't have people slightly moving when they're supposed
What
to
the
be
heck
paused.
is on the
Yeah.
right? What is that? What are
It's
those?
Weird.
On the right
that
there,
like
that's a
a
piece
space
of modern
dress?
art on the wall.
It looks like they got a bunch of random like bar cloths and just stapled them to the wall.
I mean, it's a lot better than that weird, horrifying clown mask that one lady had on the Enterprise.
Oh yeah,
Chinese lion, yeah.
worst chair ever.
the Gowron mask that she had on her home on her
Froze. This is Frozen. Let's look at the screens.
Wait, she's still alive?
They beamed down to the planet before the.
Okay.
Yeah, Apgar was the
That's
only one
right.
left on the station.
So my hypothesis is, if we look at this again, and it's frozen, the computers will not be moving if we don't have a camera pan, or they will be moving if we do have a camera pan. But of course, right now it's not frozen.
The
we should
pattern
get
of the
the-
digits there on the upper right, that's constant through this scene. Even when they faded it out,
827,
I think.
17.3,
Oh,
24.18, yeah.
The same timing, the same cycling. So even when they faded through or dissolved through to the next scene, I think that stayed constant.
The one thing I don't like about this third act, basically, is that Picard is all speculation here. Like
Apparently
except
this
for
is
the
enough to prove innocence.
except for the thing with the mirrors and like maybe the reflection of the phaser at the end. Spoiler alert. It's all speculation, not facts.
Yeah.
fair, I think Jordy just discussed and justified what you just said while you were saying it. He was talking about how
The
this is
thing-
all theory.
Yeah. Well, the thing is about speculation is that you can sometimes prove that the speculation is true.
True, but he didn't prove that he was going to use it as a weapon. Like there weren't any like communications with Romulans or whatever. This is like, I believe Apgar did this. It's likely that he did this. Perhaps he did this. I think at this moment, this is when he decided to. Picard is talking about what's going on in someone else's head, like speculation.
There's a difference between talking about murder and talking about like running a red light if you didn't even see the red light. Like you're not even paying attention. You know. So it's just trying to like keep track of scene by scene change and sort of what the context is, you know, because they cram a lot of the stuff in here, especially towards the end of the episode. Okay, I love this part.
All of the lights were moving before they played.
Yeah.
But then, was that
I just
actually a
like-
background plate, or were they just standing there holding real still until they said action?
I think for that shot, they were just standing there.
And it kills the holodeck.
But not the
But not the table that they're sitting at or the
But
chairs. So they don't
Yeah,
just fall to the ground.
simulate like the
second
blackness of
simulation.
space,
Thank God the
Oh,
holodeck
wow.
safeties were on.
right?
What
Yeah,
a
it would've
I
been
don't know
really
if I would
time
ever
bomb.
trust that experiment on this ship.
Didn't Picard
If this-
see like
if-
a crew member get shot and killed in the holodeck in like episode 4?
Something like that, yeah. Real
Safeties
early
are
on.
off all the time.
Oh, it got in her eyes.
If the safeties were off, would that have destroyed the Enterprise?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Because it destroyed a
I'm-
space
I'm-
station.
What is
I'm
triumphant
unclear.
music?
Is that holodeck device where the radiation burns came from?
That
Yes.
they were being focused and redirected from? Yeah, that thing in the middle.
Okay, so
No.
The surface
yeah,
unit
then
was sending
logically
out.
that holodeck explosion of the device should have destroyed the real life Enterprise, right?
Yes, absolutely. Unless like the
Yeah.
holodeck cut off like the millisecond before it actually impacted and just
Or maybe it's
simulated
not
the
as
boom.
I
Or
think
perhaps
it didn't
Geordi
destroy it
realized
because
earlier.
the issue
Or
with
perhaps
the
Geordi
damage to the
realized
Enterprise.
earlier that
You got
perhaps Geordi realized earlier that that's where the radiation burns had come from, and that's why he enabled a safety or something to prevent that.
He probably figured he knew how it would work, so he just programmed the simulation to display how it would. Yeah.
I think what happened is that the thing that destroyed the space station wasn't the reflection of like the Krieger waves anywhere. It was the destruction of the reactor, and the reactor wasn't real.
Wasn't fake.
The reactor wasn't a reactor at all, and the reactor thing was the mirror thing. The reactor's on the planet sending the beam up, isn't it? Not that this is important in any way.
I say it goes back to my original point of shenanigans.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
I see it. I see it. This is that's weird for the holodeck.
Can you explain your
okay.
point again?
So my point was, for this to work, we were saying that the holodeck could completely create the generator that explodes on the station, because that's what's creating damage, causing the radiation damage on the ship. And to say that the holodeck is creating something to that level of detail, I call shenanigans.
So I'm
That's a
looking at
really
I'm
Go on.
looking at Riker as he beamed back to the Enterprise.
Like you're
He
saying,
doesn't even
maybe
seem to be
Geordi-
wearing a
Oh,
phaser.
sorry. Like maybe Geordi constructed it as a practical joke because he wanted to see a big explosion in the holodeck.
All right, so the next episode is going to be everyone's favorite, Yesterday's Enterprise.
Good episode.
Good we have
Enterprise.
tomorrow's
Enterprise.
Enterprise.
Well, tomorrow's Enterprise is just the Enterprise E.
Yeah.
And this
Well,
is the
tomorrow-
Prune Juice episode.
Deep Space Nine.
Quick 1-minute timer. Start that now.
Oh, Worf doesn't get many on this one. Just the prune juice line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they give Worf the scene in the beginning of the episode because otherwise he doesn't have any role in this episode.
For reasons that will become very apparent.
Yeah.
What could it be? We don't need another person standing at that part of the bridge.
Well, you do need a security officer.
I don't know.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Oh God, it's
Sorry.
so close.
I just had to
Mhm.
say. Oh, did somebody go or come? Pardon my language.
Eh,
Don't mind me, I'll just be scratching the dog here for a second.
Oh God.
Everyone press play in 5,
It's the
4,
longest 5
3,
seconds.
2, 1, play. And I just mean an actual dog. Just a regular German Shepherd.
what was that thing he was holding? Is that like a future iPad? He was doing something with it.
That is pretty thin for prune
He
juice.
was reading Klingon poetry.
It's almost certainly not actually prune juice.
Yeah.
Is Michael Dorn allergic? Why couldn't they just give him regular prune juice?
Because he didn't want to be crapping his
Is it-
pants on set.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a problem with the prosthetics? He couldn't drink things through the teeth? What's going on?
Oh, prune juice is like a
Prune juice
natural
does
laxative.
actually taste good. It does taste good though.
I've
Did
never
Guinan
had it.
just walk up, offer Worf a laxative drink, and then start talking about how he should get laid?
Yeah. Klingons do not laugh.
Not in my
Brian,
enterprise.
do you like broccoli?
That last three.
The lieutenant or the food?
You. Food.
Good excuse, Worf.
What up,
I don't
brag
know.
Worf?
I mean, alright.
Drink your prune juice and finish your peas.
Oh, that's Target brand.
Oh, we've got a swirly outside. Red alert.
A target.
Swirly energy thingy.
Yes.
Yes.
Guinan's vaguely defined powers showing up once again.
He
I
did put
love
her
her.
hands up in
Starfleet
claws, so it
ever-
didn't count.
Does Starfleet ever memorialize like alternate Tasha Yar for becoming like a concubine to a Romulan admiral,
Not at all.
having the worst fate of all the Starfleet officers?
I'd like to know how Data could ever discern an event horizon. Like,
And every time they say that word, I just think phenomena.
doo-doo. Phenomenon. Do.
Man, this is some very spooky music going on.
I love this transition though. Just the way they focus on Picard.
Had the best music.
I love that.
It's so good.
Who is that woman?
I'm shocked.
That's not Worf.
Look at that double delta belt. What is up with that?
Belts.
Vaguely
Main war.
undefined
Okay, where's the main
power.
war room? What room does that replace?
Probably a large recreation room.
Stellar cartography.
Ah, very
Right.
possibly. That would be the
But
most
you would
useless.
you would still need
Huh.
stellar cartography, especially in wartime.
Maybe it doesn't get that giant like Cerebro room like it did in the movie.
Generations.
Yeah, Generation.
But it was
thank
so fancy and dramatic in that movie.
you. You like seeing Patrick Stewart in a large room with weird powers. It just fits.
01.
And why is she reading the registration number off so slowly?
Dramatic effect.
Does it just slowly pop up on the screen, one letter
Actually,
at a
yes.
time?
Yes, it actually does, because we see that happen in Discovery at the end of season 1.
It's canon. They have a very slow transceiver.
Yeah, it shows
think
up one letter at a time for maximum effect.
I think she just talks like that because he starts staring at her.
All
Almost like
this
he-
amazing power, and it runs on a 28.8 baud modem.
Right.
Yes.
Nice.
That's
way
more than
that,
what.
She's getting a fax of the registry.
You know, what
The
I
way
don't
that,
understand about the new uniforms is what is with the very thin sashes, I guess, going across them. I don't even know what to call those. They're like belts for their shoulders. It's like half a
Shoulder
suspender.
Holsters, yeah, something like that.
It's a
Bandolier is what
suspender.
called.
You know, I do wish they'd messed with the opening credits in this episode, the way they did it
Yeah.
on Enterprise.
I was just
Yeah.
thinking that would have been so great.
A different voiceover would have been pretty slick. Although maybe a little bit too ham-handed. We haven't really said what's going on yet, so...
Would have freaked a lot of people out
Precautions.
in '93 when it happened.
About to say, yeah.
It's
back then,
continuing
people
mission
did-
to
got
exterminate the
confused.
Klingon race.
Right.
I mean, that's not what they're trying to do here, though. This is not an evil timeline. That's just
I
a
know,
different
I
deal.
know.
But that's a really good integration, though, of reaching out as far as you can to say you're in a different world. Reminds me
It's like
actually of the Buffy episode where they all sang.
Oh, yeah! Oh, no, sorry, I thought you were talking about the one that...
Just
There's one that added
Discovery.
a new character into the opening credits of Buffy.
in Discovery, the newest episode, when they go to the alternate universe,
Oh, yeah.
they have
Hang
Enterprise
on.
upside down or something.
Spoilers. Spoilers, everyone. If you don't watch Discovery spoilers, click away for a second. Continue.
Oh. Sorry, not really a spoiler. Just they have a different intro with the ship upside down.
Yeah. It's pretty cool
Sorry.
looking.
This really is one of my very favorite episodes of Next Generation.
It's good.
Clearly,
Seeing Wesley in a uniform.
yeah. Wesley. Right.
Even the
Oh, wait a
It's
captain
in
minute,
is
Wesley
fresh.
Crusher.
Now Wesley's in a red uniform there, and he's not the security officer in the back. Which episode has him as the security officer in the back?
It's all good things.
Parallels.
Also, Tasha have a bandolier us in like the last shot before the credits, and she just has a belt now. She had a shoulder thing, definitely.
Hmm.
But yeah, with parallels, I think is on the Enterprise with where the Borg have taken over, and it's him and Riker are the only two people left.
Hmm.
I see that
Wesley
alternate
and-
universe Riker still has a back problem.
Yeah.
All of
Probably
them.
from battle this time, though.
In combat.
It's interesting that this isn't evil Terran humans. This is just humans losing a war. I like seeing that variation. We don't ever see anything like this again.
Like they don't
In
have
Discovery, we do. At the end of season 1, we see also a desperate Starfleet. With Admiral Cornwell beaming onto the bridge and being all freaked out.
Totally.
Fair enough.
Starring Denise Crosby.
But it's very rare.
Immediate assistance.
Well, his communications are still working. So
Life
that's
support is
nice.
failing. We are holding our breaths.
It's very
Good correction,
subtle there.
Captain.
The only
Acting.
time he centers.
We're the exit prize. Yeah, that's it.
Keep it a secret.
The Enterprise.
It's Captain Picard of the Federation Starship Enterprising.
Starship Enterprise Total Landscaping.
Exactly.
Enterprise Vista.
Enterprise car rental. Yeah.
So when the Enterprise C warps away, do we get Next Generation warp effect or Excelsior
It doesn't warp.
warp effect? I'm just saying in theory.
Oh, if it did. Okay.
It's only 22 years old. So probably TNG effect.
It's got the nacelle lights like the Enterprise D. So I would say Enterprise D style. Now, they're carrying these flashlights here, and in real life, many people wear those as headbands because it makes so much practical sense. I'm really surprised that they never did that in any of the episodes, because you need both hands to lift people and stuff like that.
Yeah, they use these flashlights all the time on the show, and they're just awful every time.
There's quite a bomb cloud of smoke in here.
Yeah. Don't breathe that.
Are there rocks in the Enterprise C?
Yeah.
I don't know. We need a good shot of the floor, because they'd have all fallen down by now.
No. We get rocks later.
The Enterprise D is going to resupply them with rocks.
See how close
C and D
Riker
both
gets to
have
her?
rocks in this
It's just too
episode.
close. Beam me out of there.
Or do you want to put out that fire?
Wait, it's been on fire the whole time.
No,
There's
Jordy,
burning.
Scan it.
Jordy?
It's like the apartment in was it Synecdoche in New York?
Scanned it. Well, it's
Wow,
on
they
fire,
really don't
sir. I
care
can
about that.
see that.
Riker, don't lean into it.
Dodo.
Okay, the light's sort of flickering like there's another fire there. Where's the other fire?
Now, this guy who plays Castillo, he's been on several different shows, and somehow I get the feeling like he was on the Dukes of Hazzard or something.
Yeah, he's Shooter McGavin in Happy Gilmore.
Oh, that's right.
Adam Sandler.
I'm curious what Captain Picard is going to call Riker here, because if he did earlier, I didn't catch it.
So are the writers basically telling us that there's supposed to be a comedy scene coming up by included casting him?
I
Like
don't know.
I mean, he's obviously on there for a reason, like to have
guy
some
in the-
fun. Like he's gonna.
Has she been on the bridge before?
No.
Why is she on the Enterprise?
On the bridge.
Why is Guinan on the wartime Enterprise?
She can go on the bridge whenever she wants.
Well, they still need a bar. I mean,
Do
they
they?
still have to. I mean, they gotta blow off steam. I don't know.
Actually,
In this
if you
universe,
think about it,
Picard's an alcoholic.
like a military base they'd have to have some recreation somewhere. Like they probably don't have a holodeck, but it would make sense for them to have 10 forward just as like a cafeteria.
Okay, so Guinan and Captain Picard became fast friends when Captain Picard saved her in that cave in the Mark Twain episode. But that doesn't happen in this universe. They wouldn't have the Mark Twain episode in this universe. Why are they friends?
Well, wait a minute.
They know each other. That's all. Like, how'd they know each other?
So maybe it's like the Mirror universe where the same people always find a way to meet each other.
In the
Time
prime
Zero.
timeline, in the prime timeline, Picard and Guinan become friends without the context of that episode, because Picard doesn't know that happens, even if Guinan does. So
True.
like, they still meet,
Okay.
so it could happen otherwise.
Time Zero takes place in what season?
I think it's the
I think 6 or
transition
7.
from 6 to 7. No. It's 5 to 6. Sorry, 6 to 7 is Descent.
Isn't Guinan supposed to be in the next season of Picard?
Yes.
Supposedly
yes, she
she
is.
agreed
Oh,
to
that'd
it.
be- Looking forward
Yeah,
to that.
I want them to finally tell how they met. I would love that.
Believe it or not, this might
I
be
mean-
the
Same.
last chance to say how they met.
If we're nitpicking this war has been going on for like how long? 20 years almost.
Mm-hmm.
22.
Picard would have gotten his first captaincy on the Stargazer and then established himself there, which is what allowed him to get the Enterprise D in the first place. It probably wouldn't have happened the same way on the Stargazer in this timeline. So, like, why does he have the D now? You know, none of it makes sense if you analyze it that
I mean,
closely.
all parallel universes are weirdly parallel. I mean, the Mirror universe has no reason to be as cohesive as it is either.
Also, there's probably a lot of dead captains. So maybe they're just running low.
Also, I think Guinan helps, make the show move forward when they kind of get in a strange spot.
Yeah.
A very useful plot device.
It's really behind the scenes thing, but it's always ticked me off how Starfleet kept the same uniform there for 60 years or whatever, and then they change it every 3 years afterward.
Yeah, it's like that red and black is used for almost 80 years. I did the calculations one day, just out of curiosity.
Okay.
Yeah, Wrath of Khan on.
It
Well,
changes.
you see, they weren't filming different TV shows during that time, so no need to change uniforms. They didn't have any documentary crews on the ships.
I like the uniform a lot.
Cameras
Don't get
of
me
any-
wrong, but it's just wow.
So
Captain
it took
Garrett's
him
pretty
all
cool,
of
though.
10 minutes to go back on his don't tell them what time they're in?
Yes.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you dare. I'm going to do it.
It would have been an interesting dynamic if Captain Garrett knew Picard from 22 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That would have been fun.
Then she would have seen him 22 years older than she last remembered him.
Hmm.
It's okay. He would just look exactly the same. She wouldn't notice.
That's true. We do know this about Patrick Stewart.
At this point, Picard would still have been not a junior officer, but like a senior officer on the Stargazer. This is 2 years before he would have gotten the captain's chair.
Yeah, what if Captain Garrett knew Picard as this like reckless young officer that was
Got himself stabbed through the
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah, that nerd entrant on the Stargazer.
That would have been interesting. Yeah.
that would have been really cool.
Maybe she'd be the lady from the episode Tapestry, Picard's friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
The handsome lady, or are you talking about Marta Bertanides?
Marta, I think. The lady that Picard's like, no, we're just friends, and then he sleeps with her, and then they aren't friends
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, that's Marta. Yeah, that would have been cool if Garrett knew Picard is like reckless. Like, how the hell did you get the Enterprise?
Have they established what he was like yet? When he was younger, that he was a hothead.
Yes, actually, because in season 1 or 2 episode, he's in a shuttle with Wesley talking about it.
Ah.
We haven't seen it yet, but he has talked about it.
He possibly made some snide remark about my questionable parentage. No. He made it about his. Yeah. vice
Yeah.
versa.
Oh.
This episode is special to me because I have an Enterprise C autographed by Tasha. I love this.
Oh wait, if Captain Garrett would have known Picard, then it would be funny if like lieutenants on the Enterprise C also knew Picard because they went to the academy with him.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Now I wish this episode had all that writing in it.
That would
It's
be
pretty
awesome.
good as it is. I don't think it's necessary in any way.
Yeah. This could have been a two-parter though, because it's a pretty dense episode.
This
Yeah.
would have been a great
So they're
two-parter.
back on the Enterprise C, right?
Yeah.
Yes, right now they're on the sea.
Yeah, they fix the sea up. They go back to the Enterprise. The next time they get on the sea, things happen to Captain Garrett, and then they go back, and then Tasha goes over. They easily could have split that into two.
So is this character like? Well, obviously, if anybody
keep
was looking
wanting-
at the screen,
Sky Decker.
Castillo or Tasha?
never mind. No, Castillo. Yeah, he was looking at her. But it's just like, what does she see in him? I think she's just looking for a way off the ship.
Why
He's
would
just
they
so
be
handsome.
negotiating a peace treaty if the Kinnemer Accords were still in place?
What?
I don't know. The Federation and the Klingons are always going to war with each other.
Yeah, it's just it's very very odd.
I think that means we've had 3 wars now. There was the Discovery Era War, there was this war, and there was the very brief one in Deep Space Nine.
Are we counting
and
the
then
Romulan
Cold
War?
in original series.
Well, that was the one from Discovery, the same one.
Is it still carrying on? do you think?
Discovery had the Kling. Discovery had a Klingon war, and then between Discovery and the original series, there's the Romulan war, right?
No, the Romulan War is before Discovery because that's what causes the founding of the Federation.
Yeah, Archer is involved in that one.
Right. There's that whole Enterprise Romulan war book, right?
And we would have gotten to see the Romulan War in the show if they hadn't canceled it.
I'm so disappointed.
They were building up to it. We got some Romulans in the end, but they didn't have time to do the whole war.
Enterprise is a real tragedy, man. The last 2 seasons were so good, except for that last episode.
Okay, when Romulans don't ever have a war, right?
The Earth Romulan War, yeah, that's what caused the Federation to be formed.
Oh. Okay.
Before it was just a planetary alliance, and then the Romulan War, which sparked everyone to be like, "Oh crap, maybe we should get together."
Mutual enemy.
Mutual defense against bigger empires.
Did they explain how no one ever saw a Romulan until original series?
They just say there's never been visual communication. And
Because the
that
Seems impressive. For the whole war.
In the original series episode Balance of Terror, I think it's called, where we first see the Romulans because they hack their cameras. Captain Kirk, I think, makes an announcement where he says that the treaty was negotiated over audio radio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then they do say specifically that they hadn't seen them before because surprised they look like Vulcans. But
yeah. In Enterprise, they also talk to Romulans, but they never get to see them there either.
No, there's never any direct contact. They were very good with keeping that consistent.
Nice.
Even like a 3-episode gap, I think, between the drone ship and actually revealing that it was Romulans. They milked that.
Okay, I'm getting them mixed up with the Cardassians. Because they get close to war, but the Cardassians... I mean, I guess if you look at DS9, it's a different thing, but in TNG, they always, try to avoid firing on each other as much as possible.
The Cardassians seem to sure want to war, though. They keep provoking Starfleet.
But like, if it was like Klingons, then you fire on them first, kind of, but not like...
Someone making a cocktail in the background?
Sorry, I'm making some popcorn, homemade popcorn.
Okay.
So
Okay, so what recipe are you using? What recipe? What's going on? What's the deal?
Like popcorn kernels. I use ghee instead of butter, salt, and
oh, you're doing this from scratch. Ooh.
a cayenne pepper blend.
Cayenne pepper. That's where it's about. That's what it's about. That's where it is. Switch those around.
I like it.
That.
God, I miss good cayenne.
All right, here's my popcorn recipe. Popcorn kernels, of course. And then a half and half mixture of coconut oil and butter flavored oil, or just butter. And then you top it with salt, black pepper, and cayenne.
Popcorn doesn't
skeptical. It sounds like you're
strike me as a thing that's supposed to be spicy. I remember when I was about 12 or something, I thought of the idea of sprinkling sugar on it instead of salt, and that turned out really good.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The important thing is that you have to eat the popcorn with chopsticks so you don't get your fingers all dirty at the computer.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Holy smokes, I never thought of doing that. That's genius.
Oh,
It works so well.
Anytime
That's a really good idea. That's awesome.
I'm going to do that just today, then. Just because.
Okay. Anyway, back to the show. Defensive systems. Do they have popcorn on the Enterprise C or the Enterprise D? Probably.
They probably make a big deal out of replicating regular popcorn kernels and popping them themselves. I bet that.
That's probably true.
Replicating is just going to give you a bowl of popcorn. They're like, no, I want to do this the old-fashioned.
So fun. Yeah.
Here's a question. Have they ever established in Star Trek in what year replicators were invented?
It's sometime after TOS, but I don't think we get any more specific than that.
I missed the cooked food on TOS.
only about 100 years between original series and Enterprise, maybe 80, or
87.
OS and TNG. It's 70.
And they do have they have basic replicators and they have like food specific replicators in the early ones.
Let's consider too that by the time of Next Generation, replicators are commonplace, and people are making cracks about how they don't taste like real food. But
People have
they're
replicators in their homes.
Yeah.
or portable ones that they can give to alien planets.
Or
Probably decades before, yeah.
Better than food synthesizers in original series, though. Just like
food
cubes
synthesizers, that's what they're called, yes.
well,
Yeah, it's just like
or replicators make about the best martini I ever had.
How many people on the Enterprise right now do you think grew up with replicators their entire lives versus
All
how
of
many
them.
are up to all of them? Do you think all of them?
That's
if you
all
ask
of them.
Robert, yeah.
Picard is supposed to be about 64 here, so yeah, probably. Maybe 5-10 years after original series then.
We know Chief
64,
O'Brien.
he's only like 50.
Chief O'Brien had real food growing up. And so did Riker.
So did Cisco. Yep.
I think everybody had real food. It's just a matter of when did replicators become widely available.
Well, by that I mean primarily real food. Instead of and only rarely replicated.
Real quick, when the show starts, Picard's character is supposed to be 59 years old. So 60 years of that's 10 years after original series ends.
Is that canon?
Okay, so I want you guys to
Pulling it
know
up.
in this scene, if
I don't know.
you don't already pick it out, like they're making a lot of references to Yar's sexuality here in this scene on Star Trek. I'm not quite following what you guys are all talking about, but I just wanted you not to miss this part. It's kind of weird.
Wait,
Like,
are they?
I know that they're setting her up to
They're
run away.
talking in
What's the
code,
name?
or if they're talking about like literally what Guinan's saying, if it has some kind of meaning, and Picard's kind of like, everybody like get out, we're just gonna play it safe. It's kind of his like. Anyway, if you're not paying attention, I was trying to make a show like, point that out.
Why did that door work for Yar but not Data?
Data's not a person.
Data's not a real person.
Oh,
I have questions.
I think the turbolift just wasn't there yet.
Oh,
And
that's logical.
Tasha Yar, I mean, if we're talking about that, she is going to go on to be the concubine for the Romulans, so I guess it fits.
ew.
Yeah, that was a Rick Berman thing.
Let's not pretend that her whole
Thanks,
character
Rick.
has been sexually associated the whole time. She came from the rape planet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and yes, Hannah pointed out in the chat, Tasha did not grow up with replicators because she was there.
So the actor who plays Castillo here is Christopher McDonald. He's been acting since 1978, and he's been in a huge amount of stuff according to his IMDb listing.
Oh, it's hot.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys who's been in everything, yeah.
He even got to be the voice of Jor-El in the 1996 Superman TV movie.
That's just impressive.
Wow.
Do we see this set in TOS? This looks really familiar.
So this set
Or is this the
a
Battle Bridge?
redress.
Yeah, it's the Battle
No.
Bridge.
No, it's a redress. It's using Battle Bridge components, but it is a redress of a number of different rooms that we see. You can tell by the upper panels that those trapezoidal panels that are in the room. It was also the courtroom for Measure of a Man, and it's used in a couple other scenes as well that are not the Starship Bridge.
If I were to
Okay,
guess
so-
that you watched Jump Ball, would I be correct?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh my. Okay. Well, I guess for everyone who's unaware, if you throw Junk Ball into YouTube, it's a guy that does a whole bunch of behind-the-scene shot model stuff. Big Star Trek channel. Junk Ball
Hey,
Media, I think.
Have you been seeing another Star Trek channel? Am I not good enough for you?
I've got bad news for you, Ryan. The number of Star Trek channels I'm subscribed to on YouTube are absurd, and I'm surprised I don't know what Junk Ball is, because if it's a Star Trek channel,
you got to get
I
on
should
this.
know about it.
Oh, Junk Ball is good.
Yeah, honestly, half the stuff that you've said, I've heard already in a Junk Ball video, so that was like,
Oh, wow. Okay, no, I'm just a big nerd who watches for these kinds of things.
well, then you will love these, man.
This
Guys,
scene here
stop! You're
coming.
making Ryan jealous.
This scene coming up between Tasha Yar and Captain Picard. This is Denise Crosby's by far her finest scene in the whole series. It's so well acted. It's so well written. It's so well pulled off.
The I'm not supposed to be here speech.
And if I'm going to die, I'd like my death to mean something.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
So something I haven't talked about yet is Patrick Stewart's portrayal of Picard is just a little bit different in this episode because he carries the context of, a couple decades of war. You can tell that he gets like frustrated and angry and is boiling under the surface a lot easier than Picard would be in our timeline.
But he
That was a
wants
great
to be
job.
the Picard we know. He just
Yeah.
doesn't have the opportunity to.
Yeah, he's just a little bit different, and you can pick up on it if you watch how he reacts to certain things in the episode.
So do you guys think that Yar coming back on the show is her way of sort of blessing the show for not being terrible anymore after the first season?
I think it was more like, oh shit, I made a mistake.
Yeah, it's more like crap. I need some money.
Yeah, I don't know that the reintroduction of Yara as Sela. I mean, it works really well here, but I don't think Sela was a necessary addition. I don't think that really added anything.
I don't either.
No, so Denise Crosby's original idea was they go back in time with Castillo, and she gets with him because they both survive the destruction of the Enterprise C, and her daughter comes back and is just a
Okay.
normal person. But like Rick Berman said, nah, we're gonna make you a Romulan, and we're gonna make sure that you were raped.
Jesus.
Because, of course, because it's
Wow.
Tasha Yar.
Only raped. Your rape baby is going to get you killed.
That's actually a good way
Yeah.
of describing it, but without the strong wording.
Just anything that might make you feel uncomfortable with the show, just assume it was Rick Berman.
Unfortunate. Oh, she got hit with a rock.
Oh no.
Oh shit, rocks.
Okay, I was looking very carefully. She definitely did not get hit anywhere near the neck by anything.
I don't think she got hit anywhere near anything by anything. She's
it's
the one that
not her
Yeah,
neck,
she just kind of
it's
fell over.
It's not her neck.
It's not a neck wound, it's always a neck wound.
Oh no.
Oh no, that's not a neck wound.
Oh, does she
Not
have a...
dead yet?
Yeah.
It's pretty graphic for Star
she's
Trek.
dead.
That's almost as bad as the one where the lady fell through the floor and they just focus on a dead upper torso.
God, that was messed up.
Yeah.
So did that come
They
out
have
of her brain
violence
or
and gory
into her
death on
head?
my family-friendly show?
Budget cuts.
Riker, why are you so angry all the time? Calm down, Riker.
He's a very passionate man.
Yeah, why is he mad?
How can they see anything? Turn on the lights.
This is a warship. We don't have time for that.
They need to divert all power to the defensive systems.
What is this display supposed to be displaying?
It's probably really
Yeah.
cold in there. Yeah, what is that?
Looks like a hard
That's,
disk sector.
Enterprise shield.
So do you guys think it's a plot of the show that she's pretending to like him?
Tasha,
And
no.
and that's what
Tasha's-
Rocker that
I
would
don't
make
think there's
Riker
pretend-
mad about it.
Who's she pretending to like?
Castillo.
No, I, think
I don't
it's
get
real.
that impression at all.
I don't think she's
Okay,
acting.
good. It's just me. Okay.
That's just you.
No, she seems into him.
Yeah, they're very clearly flirting.
Castillo's uniform here is missing the his front badge
Oh yeah, where
with
did?
the emblem, and he's got this black trim there instead of white. It seems really off.
He
And
also,
she's
he also isn't
missing
wearing
her
the belt.
sash.
He doesn't even have a collar either.
Yeah, he doesn't have the big ass belt in the middle.
I really
It's
don't
just
think
a
they're
tunic.
faking this. What is going on
There,
with the uniform?
there
though?
are at least two other characters watching them do this. No, because we just saw them.
Probably happens in the transporter room for once in a while, like an airport, right?
Guy standing at the transporter desk is like right where the camera is. He could probably
Wait.
hear the lips.
Yeah,
Is,
you're right.
is O'Brien
happens
here?
at
Did
airports.
have we seen O'Brien?
If I may make a comment about his
Yeah.
costume, I think what they're doing is they're trying to paint a guy that they think Tasha would like, which is a guy who's just really funny and goofy and down to earth.
Hmm.
Oh,
Castillo's
that's
a
right.
pretty nice guy.
Before she goes to see Captain Picard, she talks with Guinan here.
Yeah.
This is really good too.
Yeah, I love
I don't know. I think you might have alternate biographies of the crew, Guinan.
I thought that's part of her vaguely defined powers.
Sasha, Guinan is not a talker. She is a listener. Is that the only time I think we've ever seen red behind the Delta?
Yeah.
It's very TNG or TOS movie style.
Yeah.
But I was just about to ask, why does it say USS Enterprise NCC 1701D in the background? Do they, in case someone forgets what ship they're on when they've been drinking?
It's on the wall behind the bar. Just at the beginning.
You're on the
weren't
Enterprise.
there-
You don't need to label it.
Like shelves for drinks back there originally, right?
Maybe it's for photo ops.
Hey, actually, on the military flagship, yeah.
So Guinan makes it sound like somebody's going to kill her. Doesn't she kind of make it sound like that? It's almost like she's trying to scare her into leaving because she's trying to save her life.
No, she asked how the other Tasha died, and she just said it was a stupid way to die, which was very on the nose because it was a
Yeah,
stupid
Skin
die.
of Evil.
It was
yeah,
the sentient oil
silly.
slick.
Armis, the living tar pit.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the person who wrote her death is no longer with the show.
Well, didn't she want out though?
Yeah.
Well,
She
yeah,
bored.
but, I mean, like, I'm talking about the way they wrote her death into
Oh,
the show.
I
It was
see.
a
Yeah,
bad episode.
Well, that's why
It was a
Beverly.
first season episode.
that was very just thrown together. Okay, pull some shit out of your butt to get her out.
So they fired Gates after the first season because she was pissed off about the sexisms. But Yar just quit. I mean, not Yar, but
Denise.
thank
Crosby.
you,
Yeah.
Denise Crosby.
D
She
nice.
was-
I believe the conflict with Gates was her and a writer were just constantly butting heads over something, and that writer was fired after the second season.
Yeah, I think it's they didn't give her enough
Oh.
to do.
Oh,
They
I didn't
never
know that.
gave her anything. Her character was very
Trying to
boring.
fire like all the women.
Wait, her character did feel way different in the first season.
Yeah, Star
And in
Trek
this
is a lot
season,
about handling
She got her own
conflict.
episode about being a captive. But it was her episode.
But she was dead, right?
Wait, who is dead?
No, I mean, how can she be captain? Oh, you're talking about Denise Crosby, like
Yes.
Yar's.
No, Dr. Crusher. How Dr. Crusher didn't have anything to do really in the first season, but she gets a lot more of her own stuff to work with in this season and onwards. She got the high ground. She gets Remember Me.
Yeah, she learned how to just chill
It's
out.
Sub Rosa.
She technically,
And
yes.
hide her back.
She
Yeah.
gets the Scottish Space Ghost.
Yeah.
Hey, that's more of her familial
This is
backstory than we get anywhere else.
Yeah, look at Denise Crosby's eyes here. She's
She's so intense.
This
Yeah,
I
is
thought
so
I thought
well done.
Moltar was the funniest because he was the most dry.
I've always known the risks that come with a Starfleet uniform. If I'm to die in one, I want my death to count for something. Arguably one of the best lines of the entire series.
and she instantly relaxes a bit once she gets permission. She was really freaking out there about dying a meaningless death, and now she gets meaning.
Uh-huh. Also,
She was horrified by that.
She was sort of making a big ask of the captain. That would make anyone nervous.
Wait, did Castillo just tap his
Yeah,
comm badge?
Like,
Yeah,
decided-
you
Don't
did.
worry about it.
And not only that, he has one now.
I want a refund.
I mean, this is the Enterprise C. It's not like Wrath of Khan.
True. They could
Yeah,
have
they
put
could
him
have
in
built
there.
them in
There.
by this point.
Yeah.
Actually, hang on now. I'm thinking back. Section 31 in Discovery has the badge communicators. They make a big deal
They
out of
do.
it like 3 times.
It's like, how did you communicate with someone? What did you just do? It's like, don't worry
Yeah,
about
they
it. That's
freaked
what. It's like, it's not that big of a technological advancement, guys. You don't need to freak out.
And then we
Yes.
get to Section 3 and they
It's
can
not
do
like the first smartphone. Yeah, I got a funny story. Last
Sorry, the
last week,
subtext here.
last week or so, I was in a conversation with people for coffee talk, and one of them was a woodworker, and he talked about how he found this piece of wood he was trying to work on, but found that the worms got to it, so it had wormholes in it. I smacked the table and I said, I can't believe this is the first time in my whole life that I'm hearing the word wormhole not used in a science fiction setting. In a real actual wormhole setting. A hole in wood made by worms.
I mean, look at that wood paneling on the tactical area. If Worf says we're detecting a wormhole, does he actually just mean his panel is damaged?
Wait, they fought on Archer 4?
Yes. Archer 4.
Yeah, the first time I heard wormhole, 2 words, was in a scientific sense as well.
Federation starship.
Enterprise Critical Car.
Let history never forget the name Enterprise. That was the caption on a big poster that I had on my bedroom closet door the year after I discovered Star Trek.
I'm jealous.
I just noticed that the birds of prey have big radiator fins on the back of the ship, or on the top.
Oh, yeah.
This lighting does amazing things for Data's makeup. It looks really good.
He does.
Okay, dispersive pattern Sierra.
This is good lighting. This is like film lighting almost.
Yeah, about to say he looks almost like he does in Generations.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's watch that lighting on his face later. I wonder if they pick up on how good he looks. Even here, these shadows.
Well, true.
Look at that dramatic lighting on Captain Picard.
They really don't use a lot of lights in Generations either. Very dark.
Here, in this shot, the light is head on or from the top, and here the light is from the bottom.
Yeah.
That's very different.
They probably have spotlights, I'm guessing.
Why are they not shooting?
Lights.
Like they're now, but they're barely shooting.
I've seen some fan theories that they were like trying to minimize how much they're shooting because it could disrupt the rift, but they don't say any of that.
Yeah, even like when the birds of prey first show up, they're sitting there for a good at least 5 seconds, just chilling, just hanging out.
Yeah, it seems like even if they were trying to avoid disrupting the rift, like destroying 1 or 2 of the ships just immediately would reduce the total number of fire.
Prey? Okay, what I'm trying to understand is were the birds of prey trying to destroy the Enterprise?
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. That second bird of prey just flew right through the wreckage of the first, meaning that they were on a collision course before it blew up.
It's a good day to die, and I don't care who dies.
Even if it's LaForge.
Is LaForge going to do a barrel roll?
Is he going to do it?
Are you going to do it,
We
LaForge?
going to roll under door?
There's too much pink lighting. We gotta go.
I know, right?
LaForge, quick, drop the blast door.
The ship has
They will
gone
not
to
what
pink
data?
alert.
Eject the core?
Yeah, this looks like a coolant leak to me.
His version of an alarm clock is just an explosion. He's like,
A
computer,
coolant leak
if
in the
this
ship's
reaches
engine
this
core.
parameter, just explode.
Yep.
Realize that like the belt buckle is a pair of deltas, and I love it.
Go stand somewhere else in the ship when it explodes.
These are actually really nice belts. Why is it going so slow?
And why aren't they firing on the Klingon ships like the Enterprise was firing on, what was it, the Husnock ship? Or whatever?
The C is going at like 1/8 impulse.
Just thrusters only. More
That's a
rocks.
neck wound.
Oh, there's the neck
They
wound.
cut his
Neck
throat
injury.
somehow.
I'd read that they originally wanted to have every single member of the bridge crew have a death scene here. But someone
I would
objected.
be so okay with that, though.
Yeah, it would have been
Like
fun.
like Rogue One.
We could have seen dead Wesley. We could have seen dead Data.
We could
Maybe
have
even dead
brought
Picard.
Leslie back
Probably
and
not.
killed him again just to feel good about it.
They did it.
Oh, he does have lines.
Okay, so I know at the end there's a blooper where Geordi is wearing the alternate universe uniforms, but I'm looking at the normal ones and I'm not seeing the difference besides like a belt.
Was the top still black?
I don't know. I just know to watch for it. I got this from a junk ball video. I'm gonna watch for it.
I mean, I don't.
Skyden's gonna go crazy now. She's gonna be like,
There
I
is-
had the weirdest dream.
Yeah, what did that feel like to her? What did she experience?
Momentary disorientation, I guess. So I know there is a blooper in the blooper reel here. Is that the mirror uniform? That looks normal to me.
I believe that is a different
So-
uniform. The collar is really high.
The collar is
Yeah.
higher and it's closed in the front, whereas in the normal TNG uniform, there's like a little V in the front of the collar, but the military uniforms were closed.
That was it. Yeah, it was just the top.
So the actual blooper in the blooper reel about that bit was after there's a few moments of silence after she says to tell her about Tasha Yar. They're just looking at each other meaningfully. And then Guiney goes, "Boy, didn't you hear what I said?"
She swears at him.
All of Guiney's bloopers are just her yelling at people.
They're really good.
Have you tried
Okay.
to hack the program?
Well, yeah, I mean, like when you know the reason why somebody's yelling, like you can, especially if it's on like instant replay or like replay the next week, you just kind of have time to just take a deep breath and tell yourself, that happened. It's over. It couldn't believe it happened. And it's just kind of like painful to watch, but kind of in an ironic, hilarious way, like watching a Family Guy episode where they're not trying to be offensive, but it's like offensive, and that makes it funny because it's not like nobody's trying to hurt anybody's feelings. It just kind of comes across that way, and it's
Okay.
it's hilarious just watching it back a week later or two, so. Since you asked.
Okay, so tomorrow's 3 episodes are going to be, let's say you watched Destiny and Profit Motive. Visionary with O'Brien, having his temporal mechanics episode.
Oh, yeah,
Distant
'cause we missed
Voices.
them. We missed
Yeah.
them last week, didn't we?
I missed it because my internet was all screwy. Distant Voices, where Dr. Bashir is having a fancy adventure in his own head. And Through the Looking Glass with Cisco's dead wife. So that'll be tomorrow. And then next week, TNG. What's next week, TNG Season 3? It's going to be The Offspring,
Excellent.
Sins of the Father, and Allegiance, all of which I love. Those are all good episodes. I mean, the beginning of Offspring kind of freaks me out. Just the look of the android.
It's
How
a weird
Lal
looking
looks
android.
as an android is horrifying.
Oh,
Good word for it.
I wonder if that really was Hallie Todd in that makeup.
I thought the ending was kind of horrifying too. And
I was
Yeah.
I was looking at it today. Oh god, the ending is a tearjerker.
The ending is really depressing, but it's not. And yeah.
oh, good. I'm not gonna miss it. So I'm moving in 2 weeks from now, and I was hoping I wasn't gonna miss the best of both worlds, which I am not. It looks like so.
Yeah.
Okay.
well, in spite
Yes.
of moving, will you still be able to make the stream?
Probably not. I'll probably be on the road trying not to die in a snowstorm.
He'll be
You
off
can
watching
still
some
listen in,
other
though.
Star Trek channel.
Yeah.
Listen,
Listen
Ryan.
in, though.
You
He'll
know
live
that
Yeah,
stream
well, I'm
himself
listening.
reading junk ball.
Ryan,
You
it
know
was you.
your
It was
edits.
always you. It was always you.
Okay.
It'll be
No one
totally
makes that
different
like-
topics next week for sure.
I need to start doing like prop design set teardown videos, apparently. That's what you people want.
I've got a question. What is the triangle ship count?
So there's one ship model, which is that ship model you can see next to the triangle ship counter, that they reuse all the time. It's reused a lot. So we've seen it between TNG and DS9 so far, and we're in Season 3, about halfway through of both. We've seen it 13 times.
Huh, does it have an actual name behind the scenes?
It
Not
has
that
many
I'm
names.
aware of.
Huh.
It's most commonly used as a Bajoran freighter.
I was going to
Or
say,
Bajoran
Ryan,
transport.
cover your ears, but I think Junkball also has a video on the triangle ship.
Well,
Every time a triangle ship shows up, we have a long discussion on how it's different from all the other ones.
Yeah.
because they have to glue bits on and take different bits off. It's kit bashed a little bit every time, but it's
I
always the
find it
same
really-
base model.
It's the same ship they used for the Packlead ship, right?
Yes, it's this Packlead
Yeah.
ship.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense.
On the Packlead ship, they glued a nose on the front. Okay, so I'm looking through Junkball's videos here. I'm looking for the
Pretty sure
triangle.
they did one.
There's the
I know I've seen
USS
a video on the
Dauntless.
triangle.
I don't think searching triangle ship will work, so I just search ship in general. I'm just scrolling.
Who is the YouTuber that does the warp speed comparison video?
Yeah, that's EC
Oh.
Henry. He's real
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Another Star Trek channel you've been watching? No.
He's not just a Star Trek channel. He does all kinds of stuff.
Okay. Junkball. Yeah, I'm not seeing it here, but I mean, it's also a very vague search I had to do, and they have a lot of ship videos.
Well, I'm going through every single video. Yeah, I'm not seeing it either.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
if
looks
I add
like
triangle to my search.
I may have been mistaken here.
Well, if they haven't done it, that means I can do it.
Hey, yeah, get in there.
Go for
Make
it.
my own
We mentioned it
triangle ship
passing.
video.
He talks about a lot about how the different ship classes are usually just like kit bashes, and I know I've heard the triangle ship talked about outside of this. But
Yeah,
no
it
one
shows
makes
up-
that. It's like, don't worry, no one makes
So
It
that.
how is
comes
it
from-
a kid bash? No offense.
Well, they just keep
I mean-
gluing bits onto it. Like, let me pull up the Husnock warship real quick.
I mean, obviously these people who are involved in this show are fully grown adults.
No, it's not a, it's not a kid bash. No. Kit bash. Kit. Tit.
I love that ship design.
So, like, here, the Husnock ship, you can see it's the same base model, because it has that same light pattern there, and it has some of the same fins, and it's the same general shape, but they glued this top bit on, and they glued some wings on.
But it looks really good.
I did not even notice that the Husnock ship was one of those.
Yeah.
Wow, they did a good job disguising it there.
The Husnock's a triangle. So it is often very difficult to tell what is the triangle ship and what isn't, because some of the changes are very dramatic.
Are you saying that Alien watches your show too? That's where he came up with the idea to make the ship. Sorry,
That
too meta. I'll just shut up.
wait, what alien? What are we talking about?
I botched that one.
The xenomorph?
The guy who did you say the Husnook, right? Oh,
Yes.
you said the Husnook, but the ship is created by the alien on the planet. It was Q-like, very Q-like.
I like in the YouTube channel it says it's the Isosceles class ship.
Nice.
Okay, I really want to make that the new title of the counter, but I don't think there's physically space on the screen.
Yeah.
But it'll be the Isosceles class in our hearts.
Yes, I like it.
Yeah,
Look
that's
at
a
that.
good class.
There you go, faint signal.
Cousin to the hypotenuse class.
With the Scalene class.
It's very Greek.
Experimental
So-
Pythagorean.
I know that
Two
Eagle
triangles.
Moss, Bajoran Freighter. Oh, I don't care about the ads. Yeah, I know Eagle Moss makes the triangle ship. However, I really want them to make an XL version of the triangle ship. I want a bigger one. This is like the basic size, it's like 3-4 inches long. No, I want the 10.5-inch triangle ship.
As a Bajoran, though, which loadout would you want? The Husnock one?
The Bajoran is the closest to like the base model that glue bits on, so I'd be happy with that. But
Or
really,
Pac-Man
any
ship.
triangle. Any XL size triangle ship, I would be perfectly happy with getting. But they haven't made one, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, they were spending they just came out with a gigantic Enterprise D that comes in pieces. They were working on that.
The gigantic Enterprise D, I think it's 2 feet long and like $3,000.
Yeah, you have to you get it in a subscription service for like $50 a month. You get like 2 parts, and it's like 6 months to put the thing together or something ridiculous.
Nice.
I just got
Wow.
If you
early.
miss a month, it's never complete.
Yeah. You can 3D print the part yourself and get over it.
But it's all die-cast metal, and it's
So
it
You take the whole hard drive just to hold the specifications.
it's got internal lights, and the saucer and the drive section are independent, and they've got lights, and it's really cool. And
Wait, what's this stuff? I want to check this out.
It's the Enterprise D. I genuinely thought about subscribing for it, and then I changed my mind when I saw the pictures.
I was about 2 clicks away from submitting, and then I realized,
Who
wait,
makes
this is
it?
going to be like $80 a month. Eagle Moss.
Yeah, it's an Eagle Moss, and that's the reason that I didn't. Because if you look closely at the pictures, it has the same problems that a lot of Eagle Moss stuff does, where the QC is not great and the pieces look like they don't line up well. It's just
The coloration is wrong on the deflector
yeah, it doesn't.
and on the
They might
collectors.
have. It's not.
They might have gone
bad.
model accurate or something.
Yeah, it's not bad, but like in something that costs almost $2,000 and takes 2.5 years to put together, it better be fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a fair few of the Eagle Moss ships for the hero ships. And some of them are excellent, but some of them, like the Enterprise D and the Enterprise C they're fine.
Well, for that amount of money, you could just build your own.
Yeah. The NX-01 though, the Eagle Moss NX-01 is amazing.
Do you have the XL? I've got the XL.
I do.
Oh god, it's gorgeous.
This is the best one by far. Because most of them are primarily plastic, like the Enterprise D. The entire saucer is plastic, and it's just the secondary hull that's metal. The NX-01, basically the entire thing except the nacelles are metal.
The only other ones I have are I've got Deep Space Nine and the Enterprise C, and they're both pretty nice.
The Voyager one looks really bad. That looks like that is all plastic.
Okay, you
Yeah.
guys can't be telling the truth. For $2,000, these things got to be perfect.
I mean,
Well, these
the
are the
product hasn't even
$75
been-
ones. These are the $75 like 10-inch ones.
It wouldn't be a crime to fix it if there was any imperfections.
Yeah, it's just for that amount of money, you would really expect it to be pretty much perfect right out the box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the DS9 XL is pretty good. The Eagle Moss, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to shill for Eagle Moss here, but
Neither
It's
am
You
I.
always
want,
But
you want
pretty good.
sponsors?
I don't have a sponsorship. I've been offered one sponsorship, but I didn't take it.
hey,
because-
Eagle Moss used to sponsor the Mission Log podcast for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if the
It's-
sponsor offer I got was Eagle, maybe I would have taken an Eagle Moss sponsorship, but I was offered a sponsorship from one of those companies that sends you like a random crate of,
Oh, a Loot Crate
Junk.
company.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to do an unboxing video. I was like, that's not what I do.
That's an odd.
Have you ever thought about doing Patreon?
I have a Patreon. I just don't really say anything about it.
Oh, okay. So
It's in the description of every video. Yeah, Patreon.
Is it?
If you like the videos and also hate ads, a single $1 on Patreon will cover the ad views for the entire lifespan of the channel if I do this for like 80 years.
This is factually accurate.
So if you ever feel bad about blocking ads, just $1 will cover you permanently.
And being on Patreon probably gives you voting power. Right, Ryan?
On Patreon, I have... You know what? Let me just pull up Patreon.
It's a dictatorship.
Let me see what I have on here. Oh no, I just lost a patron. I had 18 per month and someone just unsubscribed. Oh no. That's fine. Yeah, so right now the only sort of poll thing is I have all the days of Christmas. Oh, I forgot to update day 6. Where if people want to suggest things, so far one person's made a suggestion. So I have that. I have alternate cuts of the intakes, some of them. Including, let me look at the tags here. Hopefully CBS does not watch this, because if I scroll down, I also have intake number 6. The alternate cut did not get blocked for whatever reason. The alternate cut is still there. I'm not going to play it because then this video will get blocked. But yeah. If you want to see that finally, it's on Patreon. I could just like load up the main thing here. Oh no, I don't have the main video linked. Yeah, that's there.
There you go. I fixed your Patreon count.
Oh, thank you. An even 10 now? Well, if you would like to watch intake number 6, that is only available on Patreon now, because the original got blocked. There you go. It's there for you. It's exclusive. It's not supposed to be exclusive.
Exclusives.
But CBS has deemed it to be exclusive. I also have, if you guys watched, if you watch the accurate summaries of Enterprise episode Marauders, there was this montage of people training. And what I originally wanted to do is set it to Mulan music, but I couldn't because obvious reasons. If I wanted to add that video.
That'd go real quick, yeah.
So just the Mulan music. Nope, don't play that. Do not play that on stream. That's on here as well. Or you could just do it yourself. You could just mute my video and play the Mulan music. I don't care. But that's on there. Patreon.com/Ryan's channel. But I think we're done watching for today. I think we've got just about everything.
I was looking something up real fast.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm almost there. Just takes forever. Can I save it for tomorrow?
Sure, if you want.
Actually, okay.
Just put on some jazz.
If not, yeah, I can bring it up tomorrow. But I mean, if you guys are going to be here tomorrow, let me see if I can pull it up in less than 20 seconds here.
I feel bad after the first time I did it with DS9. I didn't realize you guys did TNG on Saturdays, so I just got a post of it. I'm like, son of a. I was very sad.
Okay, so do these episodes have a particular meaning to you guys? Hollow Pursuits and the Most Toys, and even the Defector.
Hollow Pursuits. That was Barclay holodeck one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Most
Toys.
I hated Barclay, by the way, but that's beside the point.
Well,
What do you mean
Most
you hate
Toys is good because of the last 10 seconds of the episode.
I like the entire episode of the Most Toys.
Well, no, that is the best part. Like that's you can at least I watched that. Like I like the episode, but like that is the best part by far.
I mean, I wouldn't ascribe, if you're going for like meaning, like personal meaning, not really. I mean, Barclay, I can get the introverted, don't really feel comfortable in groups of people. I get that, but I don't really.
Okay. Well, no, it's like, what is each person on the crew contributing, you know? And like let's look at Geordi. I mean, obviously he knows the book on warp cores. He knows how to communicate with Captain Picard.
And he can barrel roll.
Like nobody gives a shit that he's blind or the color of his skin. Nobody even calls it into question. They're like, "Where's Geordi? We need him. Is he out of bed yet?" You know. And so it's like that's kind of like the ultimate ideal of sort of a crew member of Starfleet. And is you just know their value, you know, the minute they walk in the room. Kind of. I mean, Geordi, I don't know if you would say he has like a lot of big energy. But but when it comes to Q, it's like they're definitely, their egos are fighting, and so Geordi assigns Q to just sit down and like type these little things into the computer so that his ego's not on fire and burning everything to the ground. And like in the conference room, one of the parts that was in my notes. Anyway, like Geordi's talking about the warp core, but the entire time he's actually talking about handling Q and getting around his ego. It's really interesting, like how they throw that subtext in there.
Just trying to keep Q from disrupting everyone else with his ramblings, really.
That's when the writing analysis comes in. Yeah, there's when you look for it, there's a lot of that stuff in some of the better episodes. It's really deep.
And we'll be getting to Hollow Pursuits in 2 weeks. That'll be the week after next. And the Most Toys the week after that.
Hollow Pursuits is the one where Barkley tells the holodeck how to create something that doesn't exist.
No, that's the Nth Degree. That's in a later season.
Oh, that's the one where it goes super crazy, yeah.
Like
Hollow Pursuits is just the one where he's doing the Three Musketeers and the Goddess of Empathy and that whole thing.
The Hollow Addiction episode.
The super
Yeah.
creepy part of the episode, yeah.
But
It's a rough
outside
episode.
of the holodeck, when Barkley is not in the holodeck being a total creep, I get the man. It's like you don't know what to do with your hands. It's like there's this whole group of people and you don't know how to talk to more than like one person at a time.
Oh yeah.
Outside of the holodeck, I get him. In the holodeck, dude needs to chill.
It's nice though because we get to see this guy act like someone who does not know how to talk to people, and then act like someone who does not know how to talk to people, acting like a total boss.
Yeah.
And he really pulls it off.
Like when he gets under the alien influence and their ship goes faster than... That's not Hollow Pursuits, though.
No, that's
Anyway,
Nth
I
Degree.
don't-
Nth Degree.
But that's still good.
Is there even any plot in the episode Hollow Pursuits? Like, anyway, I guess we'll find out in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's
the
just
only plot
Barkley.
is the Hollow Addiction. That's it. It's just a Barkley episode. Well, no,
There's
hang on.
Jordy.
There's the episode. The crisis that they're dealing with is like systems are failing all throughout the ship, and they're trying to find out why. And Barkley is instrumental in solving that.
And Jordy is dealing with not being able to manage Barkley because he also doesn't know how to deal with people. I'm pretty sure there's also like a discussion where Riker just yells at Jordy to get his stuff together.
Jordy is ordered to be Barkley's friend.
Something like that.
Like,
yeah.
I'm not even joking. Picard straight up orders him in the ready room to be Barkley's best friend.
Oh god, you're right. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really like
Barkley's
that episode.
taken for it. Or does he? Yeah, anyway.
It's a
Yeah.
pure character development episode. There's no action or anything. There's just like things are happening.
Well, there's a little action. Don't forget the Three Musketeers with the sword fight.
Yeah, this
It's
isn't
very important action.
the thing that's happening to the ship isn't where things are becoming intangible and the lady falls through the floor. That's not this episode, is it?
No.
No, that's
No.
in theory.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Guinan will show up. Guinan in this episode will give some very important advice to Geordi, as she typically does.
Which
Something
one's
about
the one with her and Riker?
her and Riker. I think we've already seen that, but I don't remember which
Ah,
episode. The one where they're like, "Tell me more about my eyes," that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One
he
of
was telling
Guinan's
Wesley
best
how
scenes.
right.
Oh,
Shut
that
up,
was
kid.
probably the dolphin or dolphin, however you pronounce it.
Oh
Because
yeah.
Wesley needed help talking to girls.
Yeah.
Wait, Wesley Crusher isn't perfect at something?
He's
You
only
wrote
the
that.
wunderkind of physics, apparently.
Your neutrinos are drifting.
You have the eyes of a polaric phase inverter. It's like, no, you can't. Doesn't work. You can't use fancy physics terms for that.
Everybody's just so nice to Wesley, but he still fucks everything up.
I'm just thinking about the intake where he's trying to impress the girl and he's talking about the lights in the sky and
Yeah.
the transphasic fluffers are going to do the thing.
The thing that they do.
That is Wesley's character encapsulated.
It'll do what it does. Yeah.
It's like I know exactly.
The
what I'm
harmonic
talking
thing from
about,
the thing
but-
will do what it does, yes.
Yeah.
Alright, let me
Well,
pull this up
it's not
here.
by design.
What's
They
so
made it
weird
exactly
about
like
Will
that
Wheaton
show.
is apparently, so he was playing Wesley Crusher as this really nice kid, but apparently
Someday,
Will
you'll visit Russo 5
was a douche.
and many other places.
But now he's a nice guy, and he almost only plays villains.
That's
I'm-
true.
I am
That's weirdly true. Yeah.
I am completely unsurprised
In a moment, the
by
harmonic
that.
from the thing will do
Wow.
Which is what I see a lot. Like people who play villains a lot, nicest fucking people.
They should have left it in. It's perfect.
Oh,
Okay, so
pure.
that's it for today. I got other stuff to do. What do you do, people holding me up now?
it's almost midnight here. You don't get to complain.
It's almost 3 p.m. where I am.
It's dinner time for me.
Do you guys see Batman as a villain? Anyway.
I don't know enough about Batman to comment.
Yeah.
And for next week, the conversation: how come no one on Star Wars has a father figure? How come
Yeah.
everyone's father is dead?
Baby
Except
Yoda
the
has a
one.
father figure.
Oh, by the way, Baby Yoda has a name now.
He does, but we're not going to say what it is.
I am still in season 1, although obviously the internet does what it does. But yeah,
If you haven't seen Thumb Wars, go watch it.
There are
Well, we're
those
working
who
on it.
call him Tim.
I
Yes,
escaped
exactly.
somehow.
All right, so that's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with some other reasonably good DS9 episodes. Same time, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, or whatever bloody time it is where you are, where it's almost midnight.
9 p.m. German time.
9 p.m. Deutschland.
Yeah.
Kommst du aus Deutschland oder was gibt's? Kommst du
Yeah, I
aus
just work
Deutschland? Oh, okay.
I just work here.
I never get a chance to practice my German, though. Nobody where I am speaks German.
I live here and I barely speak the language.
Okay.
It doesn't help that almost every German here speaks English. So if I try to
Perfect.
do German with them, they're like, "Oh, we'll just speak
talk
English."
We're so much better at this than you.
Should come
Ugh.
onto Star Trek forums and invite everybody to have an all-German episode of this.
Okay.
Nah,
can we get German audio with English subtitles? I would do that.
Maybe?
Wow, so
I-
like English isn't your first language?
Me? No, it's
No,
my first
kidding.
language. I just like... Nein, ich spreche nicht Englisch. Ich spreche nur Deutsch. Nur Deutsch.
No, I was just
Okay,
trying to play
alle-
off the fact
Ja, ich
that
verstehe.
that you guys are pointing out like the way you speak English, and like I think it really is interesting the way we communicate. Where it's almost like we just do it subconsciously, but we're aware of it at the same time. So it's almost like it's conscious.
Okay, alle. Das ist alles für heute. Morgen schauen wir DS9. DS9 morgen.
ja.
Und das ist alles. Geh weg.
Tschüss.
Wiedersehen.
Adios.
Das ist nicht
Ciao.
Deutsch.
Ciao.
Say, Jane.
Does but
I said that we did. Oh, okay, there we go.